Ahoy, landlubbers! It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. And I did that really aggressively and hope that it started recording. By the time I said that, it's fine. It'll be funny on YouTube if that didn't work. Hi, future, whoever. How is everybody? It's the first stream of the new year. It's January 6th, the date that regrettably lives in infamy. I feel like we need to go back to a system where traumatic incidents aren't just named after calendar dates. Because then, like, anytime you're like, oh, your dentist appointment is for January 6th, you're like, trauma! And, like, I feel like it is unhealthy for us to perpetually associate just the date itself with something bad. Or at the very least, I think we should switch to a system where we also do the same thing for good stuff. So that then it's offset some amount. But I'm happy to see people. I'm excited to be streaming again. Also, I'm just, like, excited by stuff. I feel better today than I have in a really long time. And it's not, like, today was a bad day. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not like I had a good day. It's like not so good. But, like, I have so many, like, things to be grateful for, including you. Thank you for watching. Among them, I just wanted to briefly mention, because it's probably of interest to some non-trivial number of people. Over break, I received as gift and started playing Pokemon Violet. And you probably know, because I've mentioned a few times on streams over the last, like, month or so, that, like, I was not super excited about that game. Like, I didn't really like what Arceus was doing. And when they revealed that the next, like, mainline Pokemon games were, like, doing something quite similar, I was like, oh, no. But, I've probably played, like, maybe something like 8 hours now at this point, and it's really good. I just want to go on record, as saying, I feel like my concerns were largely unfounded, and the game is great, and I highly recommend it. And in that, like, 8 hours or whatever, I just casually found a shiny Pokemon, and I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah. Do I have any other things to report? Oh, I will mention, for those who just got here, obviously I've hidden a Squirtle somewhere on the couch, and we'll deal with that later, but I did also want to mention that I've hidden several other exciting things. So, basically, there's only, like, one... out of, like, the normal range of things where I will typically hide a Squirtle, there's really only one place that you won't find something particularly new or interesting, and that's behind Donut Cat. So that's a cheaty tip for those of you who are here bright and early. And again, thank you and welcome. Does look like Moobot's working correctly after it told me to fix it, which was a fun thing I didn't know it could do. I think it's gaining sentience, and Moobot will rule us all. I, for one, welcome our robot cow overlord. Anyway, says, hello, I'm currently in my apartment in Connecticut. Well, hello to Connecticut from Southern California, where it's been, like, raining most of the week. I hope you are well. I hope everyone is well. Happy New Year to everyone. I said when I started recording that I really wanted to stop listening to the song. Not that it's bad, but, like, I keep listening to it in, like, 40-minute bursts, and I would like not to do that. So without immediate other things that I think I wanted to mention, the main things were, like, Pokemon is good, I apologize. No one cares, but, like, I'm just putting it on the record. And also, there's gonna be stuff, like, hang out, it's gonna be a good Squirtle. It's gonna be a good game of Squirtle. Oh, goodness. Okay, I think the volume's roughly correct. I did turn it off briefly so I could, like, sync the stream again, which wasn't too far off. Oh, no, there is one more thing. Big Vasco. Hi, it's me, Big Vasco. Before I get in it, let's start prediction with 10 minutes on the clock. The same one we've been doing the last few streams of Murder by Numbers. Which is how many puzzles will Vasco finish in 3 hours. And I'm going to start that clock at 6:10 Pacific time. So... as soon as that ticks over... No, I can just do it now. Here you go, there's people here now. But I'm going to start counting from 6:10 my time. Okay. So it's 3 hours. That's the thing. It's not the whole stream in case it goes longer than 3 hours. It's how much do we get in 3 hours. So let's load. What's the one? 2150. This one. Okay, so I don't remember what's happening in this game, and I don't remember how to do nonogram puzzles. Both of these seem like a problem. We'll address that as it comes. What do I remember about this case? The main thing I remember is that this case is mostly not about this case. So the case in question is that a parade float shaped like a big high-heeled shoe crashed into a drag club and killed a guy whose name I'll never remember because there's too many weeks in the year. It's not possible. So, like, that happened, and we're, like, ostensibly investigating it. And for some reason, mainly, like, yeah, Mr. Body, that works for me. By the way, I don't know anything about this other than the thing I'm about to tell you. I saw an image on Twitter that was, like, a photo of, like, a new version of Clue. And I don't off the top of my head remember all the names of the Clue characters, but, like, there's like they appear to maybe be like a non-binary, like Chef is like Chef White instead of like Miss White or whatever it was before, and like someone on Twitter was like, I look forward to the next generation finding this to be their like romantic awakening or whatever. And I was like, yeah, you know what, like that's cool, good for Clue, good for the game of Clue, which I mentioned because that's my main exposure to something where you just call the generic dead person Mr. Body. I don't know if that's common in other things. But yeah, so Mr. Body was run over by a parade float, and like Detective Cross was all like, I guess you can solve crimes now, even though you're definitely not actually a police officer or detective or anything. I've just given up on trying to stop you from solving crimes with nonograms. And we're like, cool, but then, like, our ex-husband Ryan showed up, and he's been conspiring with our mom Sharon to just, like, collectively be the worst, like, the very worst. Like, by their powers combined, they are Captain Pollution or whatever. I think that was a real thing that happened in, like, one episode of Captain Planet, if anyone else is old enough to remember the 90s. Yeah, right. For some reason, I thought I remembered the Miss White being like an older maid character, even though I was not sure of that. Just one of those weird things. Did I see Juggernaut Legend? Is that one of the leaked cards? I have not looked intensively at the leaked cards. Mostly out of respect for the content creators who get excited about being able to spoil a card. I skimmed the names because people were talking about, like, some, like, super valuable reprints and their lands, I think. The only ones I noticed were lands, which, like, not that that's not good, but, like, it sounded like it was going to be a lot more than, like, a cycle of lands that, like, weren't crazy expensive to my recollection. Anyway, I should play this game if we're ever gonna, like, solve any puzzles, but, like, you have that information when putting in your bets for the prediction. Actually, before I talk to Fran, let's just go around to all the locations and make sure there aren't more puzzles to do, because Demolition keeps telling me that this is the way to not get hosed. I didn't check bar, right? Okay. And then, I mean, I don't think there's any puzzles at my house, but I'll check there too. Anyway, I hope it's exciting. I mean, like, I'm a little torn because I'm not, like, a big Phyrexian fan, which is complicated with all the Phyrexian stuff happening in the game of Magic the Gathering, but I love Mirrodin, and I would love, like, I don't even, like, I mean, I would love for new Phyrexia to just become Mirrodin again, or something closely resembling, like, Mirrodin Restored, but, like, more than that, like, I would kind of just like for some progress to be made so it's not just new Phyrexia. I don't think that's gonna happen. Anyway, I guess... So, my theory that this sketchy person and, this sketchy person, being the same person, Clearly not true, since I can see them in different locations at the same time. Something weird about both of them, and I don't trust it. Hey, Fran. I, just hacked into your computer, I think, is one of the last things I did, at the end of last year. Let me explain. Is this a Jedi mind trick? Oh, I just did something that might upset you. You aren't feeling very well. You don't want to sell me death sticks. Casey told us you weren't feeling very well, so we came to see how you are. What was the voice that I was doing for this character? It was just Mama, right? I have a note of this, actually. Yeah, this one's just Mama. And the other one is something more upsetting, even though she kind of looks like Mama. You want to go home and rethink your gender. See, I feel like it's kind of funny if Fran says that, and it's kind of, like, bad if I say that to Fran. How sweet of you. I'm fine. I was just feeling a little overwhelmed by everything. Then I went to the bathroom and, well, time makes fools of us all, doesn't it? Your office is full of hair! Look at all the hair in this office! Your office is unique. Well, it has to double as a dressing room, too. Still, I guess that's no excuse for the desk being so messy, is it, no question mark? If you'd like, I could show you some great sorting algorithms. I think I might be fighting a losing battle. Even if I tidied it, it'd be like this again in a few days. Very relatable. I'm just not that good at all this admin stuff. Guess that's the side effect of not going to business school. What made you buy Magellan's? Which is one of those things that, without context, makes you sound insane. If you don't mind me asking, why did you buy the club? I'd been a regular performer here for years. The old owner, Daphne, wanted to sell it so she could retire to Palm Springs, or Palm Springs adjacent anyway. The cost of living just keeps going up. I never really imagined myself running my own business, but some of the other girls encouraged me to go for it. I thought, well, how hard can it be? And, well, time makes fools of us all. So I cleared out my savings account, and here we are. Guess I was quite naive, huh? Tito says, as someone with a business degree, I can assure you it does not help with anything. As someone with a TV production degree, I can also assure you it does not help with anything. Other than the weird, like, insistence that just, like, the business world at large has with you having a college degree of literally any kind they don't care for a high percentage of jobs. I don't know, man. There's definitely stuff that I feel like if I knew it when I was younger, might have changed the way I approached life. I also feel like, as a kid, I wish I had put more consideration into what I was going to do as an adult, because, I mean, well, you can see what happened, and I'm not sure I recommend it. Wow, I wish I had that much in savings. You have been a television star until, like 2 months ago or something, canonically, Honor? How do you not have, like, money in savings? Like, this is troubling to me. You didn't need a loan or anything? I don't see what that has to do... no. I mean, definitely not. It's totally fine. Do I have evidence? Fran had dozens of loan applications rejected, but somehow the club's bills are all getting paid. That resembles evidence. And what is this? Your accounting software indicates the club has been losing money. Let's go with them letters. Yay. We found these letters on the desk. There's a bunch of rejections from loan companies. And? Well, you said you didn't get a loan. Exactly. That's why they're rejection letters. Rejection! But then, how are you paying your bills? You said you didn't have any savings. I've just been extremely careful with money, okay? I watch every cent, no frivolous purchases or anything. God, I really want, like, just for the nature of, like, how, like, over the top I find that statement to be, I really hope that, like, the next line of dialogue is someone coming in with being like, I got you order half a dozen gold-plated toilets, or something just insane. Hey, Angel, welcome to the stream. And also Demolition, hi. You folks just, like, by seconds, missed the cutoff for our prediction on this evening's stream. I imagine that the payout will be minimal. Hope everyone's doing well. We're really just getting started. We've been talking with Fran and accused her of lone shenanigans. Actually have proof. It's like a sound system or something. It's, I mean, yeah, it's, I mean, what did our proof look like? It sure was Ditto's parents fighting. Darn. Yeah, I mean, if you squint and then, like, imagine loan rejection letters. Good gracious, Angel. Thank you so much. Wait, I have to bring up the correct window so I can actually read that message, because I don't have, like, a better system for this. Hang on. Oh, no! Oh, no! Hold. Please hold. Hold! Happy New Year. Oh, thank you so much, Angel. I really appreciate it. It's very generous, and you didn't have to do that, and nobody has to do these things, but I do appreciate it. I'm mainly just excited that it's not just me today. My mom is hanging out with my niece and nephew, who I got to spend some time with when I was still on vacation, which was exciting and exhausting. But she just loves taking care of kids, and she loves her grandkids very much. And so I was very forceful in telling her, even if you have a chance, please don't watch my stream. Like, either help the kids or sleep or both or whatever. So if you're wondering why she's not here, she's doing Nana things. Everyone wish her well, though, because she's probably going to watch the VOD, and I think she can see chat. Yeah, but, like, if you squint really hard and then, like, turn your head to the side and then just, like, actually just close your eyes outright and picture some rejection letters, then this kind of a little bit looks like that. I couldn't help but notice that you are bad with money, actually. You said you were good with money, but actually you're bad with money the way Vasco is. Yes, things haven't exactly been easy, but we're getting by. Just means I've had to be careful with money, tighten my belt a little, you know. Well, corset. But you've been losing money each month, and you said that you had no float money. I don't think she specifically said that, though she did imply it. I don't have to explain my finances to you, even though I'm guilty of crimes motivated by monetary gain. You aren't my accountant. And my dad's not a cell phone. Briefly, there was something that popped into my head that I wanted to mention, and it's already gone. It's a really quick turnaround. What was it? What was the thing? What's the thing I wanted to say? No, I think it's just gone. That's regrettable. Oh, okay. This is also evidence of... I don't even... I mean, I'm sure I did this, but it mattered so little to me at the time that I, like, really don't remember the speaker. It just came up randomly. What if Ryan is paying for this for some reason? You know what? Like, that's so far over the top, Ditto. I think I would actually enjoy that as a twist. Because, like, we're doing that, like, weird heavy-handed thing where we're, like, connecting all of the cases by, like, Ryan being a total ding-dong. And so, like, he's been using his money to, like, throw his weight around everywhere. And, like, it somehow doesn't seem... What do you... Demolition, I just said that nobody had to do that. And also, didn't you do that, like, right before my holiday break? Thank you, everyone, for being very generous. Thank you. Oh, that does remind me, though, the thing I wanted to say. I noticed that, that Deliciel followed my channel, like, 4 days ago, and it made me so happy. Like, when I booted up my computer, I was like, Deliciel! Deliciel! Because Deliciel is the woman who played Upton in Lamplight City, and I was so excited about that I told, like, every person I know, and none of them cared. But I loved that happened, and it made me really excited, because it means that, A, she, like, thought about my channel after watching that really awkward stream, where I ended up playing, like, Dwarf Romantic, like, 20 minutes after she showed up, and, like, B, like, liked what happened enough to, like, follow, even if she, like, never comes back, but it's just, like, I thought that was so cool, and I loved her work so much, I was just like, it's nice that she thought of me. Anyway, that's done. Let me talk about speakers now. Sorry, dear, I can't think about... Okay, I thought that was gonna put it over the top and be like, aha, Phoenix Wright, I showed you like 3 pieces of evidence, give up. Oh, hang on. Something doesn't add up here. And we're not talking about your accounts. Although, actually, we're sort of also talking about your accounts. Yeah, no, like, we kind of are. Fran, I don't think you're telling us the whole truth. That much has been clear for a while. Please, go ahead. You must have some other source of money. We know you've kept up to date with your bills, but the club's lost money every month. And by your own test... Oh, Scout. I wasn't prepared for the tag team. I apologize. Ahem. And by your own testimony, you have no savings left after purchasing the club. And yet again, I've said that I've just been careful with money since taking over. No, that's not it. Huh. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like despite the fact that there have been large gaps in the times during which I'm playing this game, I've mostly had a pretty good grip on the overall story. I don't know that I have any evidence that specifically points to any one of the three of these. I assume what we're getting at is she did get a loan, but it's like a loan shark and something sketchy happened. It's possible we're gunning for some somewhat similar concept of she's running a second business and it's shady and the murder might have covered it up, or something along those lines. I seriously doubt it's you're performing at a rival club, but even though that makes very little sense, I feel like that would be like the most interesting of these three options. Just because it would like really spin the story in a completely other direction. Demolition says, I wonder what Fran thinks about Scout. That's a great question. I feel like this whole universe accepts Scout, like, weirdly easily, considering that, like, even in canon, it's really weird that he exists, and there's, like, only one of him, like Tigger. But, like, everyone's kind of just like, right, a flying VCR, that might as well happen. So I don't think there's actually penalties for getting it wrong, and, like, you can't save normally, like a normal visual novel game, because one of the problems with this game is its interface. So I'm just gonna go with the thing that I think makes the most sense, and then it'll make fun of me. You did get a loan! I know you can't believe that. You saw the rejection letters while you were snooping around my desk. We did, and what bank would give a loan to a failing business? So the question remains, who did give you a loan, and on what terms? Nani? You know what? I've had enough of this. I'm sorry, but it's been a very long day, and I'm still processing everything, including the murder I caused for real. Then to have you two looking into every corner of my business, finding my failings and bringing them up, it's too much. Listen, lady. Some of us have to deal with that sort of thing on a daily basis. Get over it. If you saw a fully functional Scout hovering with voice, whatever. I mean, I'd have a lot of questions, particularly if I wasn't in, like, a Disney theme park. I would still have questions there, but at least in that context, I'd be like, spared no expense on these next-gen animatronics, know what I mean? But, like, if I just went to, like, Starbucks or something, which is a weird example for me to pull because I, like, basically never go to Starbucks because I don't drink coffee. But if for some reason under duress I went to a Starbucks and I saw that there, I'd be like, I know I've been holed up in my apartment for a while, but I feel like I missed some important development in the natural world. Please, I'd like to ask you to leave, both of you. There's something really funny about this since we're like essentially working with the police. So like imagine if we were properly detectives and she just said like, you know what, I'd really rather you not investigate my crimes. And we're like, well, swipe or no swiping, and we just had to leave. Sure, I'm sorry we upset you. I refuse to read that line earnestly because she's only acting more suspicious. Did you find Fran? We did, but I think we upset her. Oh? What have you done now? We just had some questions about her finances. I think we should probably give her a bit of space. I've pissed her off a few times over the years. Don't worry, she'll come around in time. I'm like a little bit getting the hang of Australian. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's good, but I think I've almost reached a point where you can typically recognize it as Australian, and there's a measurably lower percentage of the time it randomly becomes a Cockney accent mid-sentence. Detective Cross, you're back! Yeah, I figured I should give Roz a lift back, seeing as she so kindly helped me with the investigation. This is great, but Ryan's gonna be here any minute. Ryan, just what are you planning? Stay here, but listen in. I think you're about to hear something... interesting. I'm in a weird mood. I apologize in advance for, like, sometime in the next, like, 2 hours, I'm gonna do something weird. And you're gonna be like, wow, even for Vasco. Any minute now. Honor, I'm confused. I don't understand what's happening. Big mood, Scout. Get ready to record this, Scout. You're about to see the greatest performance of your life. I would really enjoy it. Like, it would be a really great comedic moment if, like, Honor, like, created this weird sting operation that I have little to no context for or understanding of. And, like, it was, like, predicated on the notion that, like, Scout, who's, like, made of, like, the first ever, like, home PC monitor and, like a cassette deck and a VCR, like, she's like, yeah, I'm sure that he will be able to record, like, high-resolution footage of, like, whatever's about to go down. And he's just like, I made of a computer monitor and a cassette deck. What did you think was going to happen? How do I look? You look for 84.2% of your best. Hey, Scout. Hey, like, I appreciate that, like, you're a machine and, like, factual output's, like, super important, if not, like, necessary to your interactions with the world around you. But, like, just as a heads up, like, if a woman asks you how she looks, don't say that she looks 84.2% of her best. That's just not right. It's 2022 era tech Scout would be the size of a grain of sand. It's a solid B. I mean, but here's the thing, right? It's like, does anyone want to hear that they don't look their best? I mean, I feel like you're usually aware of it if you don't, but, like, it's still, like, not a good thing to hear, right? Like, I don't know. Better than but it's not better than most. It's, like, better than most of your days, I guess. But, like, you also have to consider the flip side is that if you don't do something about this output, that, like, you're gonna have, like, a day where you're just, like, not, like, feeling it, and you're like, oh, I gotta go, like, out to do some sort of errand. Like, how do I look, Scout? And he'll be like, you look 11% your best. And it's like, oh, geez, Scout. I'm having a bad day, Scout. There's one thing I can rely on you for. It's painful accuracy. I think that's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Honor. Showtime. Ryan, you came. I'm really tempted to just leave, but I don't think I actually can. Okay, good. Concerned that I had to... I'm just gonna save because I don't trust whatever's about to happen. What's the old one? 1950. Okay, great. I did honestly have the thought today, though. I've been working really hard to lose weight, which I've now talked about considerably too much on stream. But I feel like I honestly managed to go through the holidays without, like, gaining considerable weight, and was, like, pretty proud of that, despite, like, still enjoying vacation time. And so I had the thought today that, like, I probably look better now than I have for, I don't know, maybe 84.2% of my life. And I'm like, man, that's a sobering thought, because I sure still look like Vasco. Okay, Ryan, I just still don't know what's going on. What did you want to talk about? Can I just present? Can I just present a dead guy's passport? Not now, Anna. Just tell me what you wanted to know. Told you I was in a weird mood. I just kind of like don't want to do what the game wants to tell me to do. Thanks for coming. There's just something I wanted to ask before I accept your offer. I've got to admit, I'm surprised to hear from you so soon. You weren't exactly receptive earlier. I like this ballad rendition of the main theme. I know. I'm sorry. I reacted badly, and I've been thinking about the job offer a lot. Scout is not having a good time. Connor, you didn't tell me you were going to accept the job. He's kidding. Play along, Scout. So what did you want to ask me? Ever since seeing you at the Starshine Awards, I've not been able to stop going over everything that happened between us. I think that's why I acted out earlier. I don't know what to think. I was angry at you for so long, but where do you think we went wrong? Wow, that's quite a complicated question. I think Demolition sort of gets what I'm going for here, but like, because Honor is like an actor by trade, I'm kind of like fooling around with her being like melodramatic in her acting because I feel like Ryan wouldn't believe it. And I'm personally enjoying the fact that Ryan, I've always played like an absolute buffoon, and with the bad Gilbert Gottfried voice, it just makes it seem even stupider that he's just buying this. I'm having fun. We had a few good years, but to be honest, I just couldn't compete with your paranoia. For some reason, my brain auto-corrected that to pinata, and I was like, that's a weird sentence. What? Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, you questioned everything. You came up with all these conspiracy theories about how I was trying to control you or trying to keep you away from your friends and family and keep you locked in a cage for my amusement. You were going to quit the show for us so we could spend more time together. And then suddenly, one day you said I'd made you do it. All I was trying to do was be a good husband, and also maybe control you a little to keep you safe, stop you from making mistakes you'd come to regret. You're right. For some reason, I just couldn't accept that you were looking out for me. I thought you were selfish and controlling and arrogant. But I was wrong. I'm happy you can admit that. God, the smug look on his face. Do you have anything to do with my firing? I know I can have problems with believing you, which is why, if this has any future, I need to know that we're getting everything out, that we're starting from zero on a big sinking ship in the middle of a desert. Okay, that seems totally normal. So I want to ask you something, and please just be honest with me so I can move on and we can rebuild what we lost. Did you have anything to do with me getting fired from the show? Nani? I know. But this is the last thing standing in the way of us. Why on earth would I want to get you fired? Well, for the same reasons you wanted Murder Miss Terry to be wiped from the Starshine Awards this year. To get back at me. That was one mistake, Honor. I've told you how sorry I am for doing that, in a way that's definitely believable, and you should believe it. So no, I didn't have anything to do with your firing. Why would you think that I did? Now the evidence for the big reveal. Something from this case? Gosh, I don't remember what we were doing. Not... So this is the tabloid article he gave us. This diary is irrelevant. Oh, that's right. Someone, like, found a photo of us with our face circled on it that was, like, a Polaroid, and there wouldn't be copies of it. And, like, we had given it to our mom, and she gave it to Ryan because she's a sociopath. And then it was, like, circled. And so, like, clearly there's evidence of it. Demolition says, I saw a couple people retweeting this, Demolition. Demolition says, answered a Twitter question yesterday about combining your two most recent media, and Murder by Numbers plus Mr. Robot plus Dragon Tattoo would be an amazing show, especially if they play Scout 100% to character. I feel like injecting Scout as is into, like, most media improves it. Probably not, like, 100%, but, like, you know, probably at least, like, 84.2% of all media would be improved in this fashion. Recognize this? Huh? Oh, isn't this the photo you gave to your mom? Yeah, I found it in the apartment of the guy that killed Blake. That's super weird. Also, when we searched Blake's office, we saw that he'd been blackmailed to fire me. The working hypothesis is that Frank went to do it, but something went wrong and he ended up accidentally killing Blake. There's that imagination playing tricks on you again, sweetheart. I didn't come up with that theory. Detective Cross did. He did? I see. But the thing is, this is the only copy of this photo, and Mom said she gave it to you? Here we go again. Just because you have evidence, you think it means something. Okay, Honor, this is it. The performance of your career, your starshine moment. I know. And trust me, I'm working on it. I've even been having therapy, which is a weird way to say that. All I want for Christmas is for you to tell me the truth. Then I can forgive you and we can start again. Okay, fine. I wanted to get you fired, but I had no idea it would end up with Blake getting killed. All I said was to scare him a little. That's it. You think I wanted to be involved in all this? You said that to Tully? Frank himself? No, I used a contact at a firm. Leith or Leth or something? I don't know. My vocabulary's not so good. I'm kind of a rich idiot. Honestly, Honor, you've got to believe me. I had no idea it would end up like this. It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss. No, that was something different. That's something different. Okay, I believe you. You know, you're right. We have to start fresh. And in a weird way, I'm glad I've finally been able to say it out loud. I kind of feel cleansed. Oh, I'm very glad you said it out loud. Huh? What do you... You didn't record me, did you? With that robot of yours? See, now, again, to the earlier point, I feel like we've all accepted very easily the fact that Scout exists and is capable of doing this. I mean, I don't immediately see anything on Scout that makes it clear that he could make a video recording. I'm willing to suspend my disbelief, but, like, everyone's just sort of like, yeah, he can do that. Unless it says, think of the last thing you saw played beside this game, now imagine Scout in it. You know what the last thing I watched was? Last night, I watched a Netflix movie that I'd never heard of, stumbled upon by accident, called White Noise, starring Adam Driver. And it is a wild ride. I liked it quite a lot, and I recommend it, although I don't know that it's for everyone, so, like, maybe check out the trailer before trying to watch it, but, like, I liked it a lot. And, man, I honestly feel like Scout would, like, fit in that world, like, the same way he fits into his own world. Like, a couple people be like, is that a flying robot? And like Adam Driver would just be like, yeah. And then everyone would just continue their scene normally. In Space Dandy. I don't think I know what Space Dandy is, but that sounds like a good fit. Even if you did, you know it's not admissible in court. Wow, look who suddenly thinks he's Miles Edgeworth. California law requires both parties to consent. Wow, hey, you know what concerns me? When a rich guy who's like admitted to making shady dealings that ended up with people dying is like keenly and immediately aware of the fact that California is a two-party consent state for like audio recordings to be admissible in court. Like, that feels really troubling. Oh, now who's paranoid? Don't worry, Ryan, I didn't record you, mostly because I have something far more reliable. Very interesting, Mr. Blackstock. Very interesting indeed. You? But I... Ryan Blackstock, I'm arresting you for the murder of Frank Pritchell. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to you. But I'm guessing that won't be a problem for a Blackstock. This is ridiculous. I didn't kill him. Maybe not, but a conspiracy charge is a given. Maybe even withholding information. You're going away for a long time. I hope you're happy, Honor. Enjoy being alone! Didn't the cuffs just go on? Yeah, no, but like they have like a really long reach, and they're those fancy 90s handcuffs that are invisible for character model convenience. I feel like there's definitely a correct choice here. I think typically this game, well, I don't know, it's about 50-50. When you're like doing investigation type stuff, there's usually like a correct answer, but like sometimes it's just like for fun you pick one of these options. But like, bye Ryan, enjoy all your new company. That's a fine answer. Happy, I never wanted any of this. That's a bad answer. That's lame. Happiest I've been since the day we divorced. That's the correct answer. Because it answers his question directly. Yes, I am happy. And also, rubs it in his face how dumb and stupid he is. I'm sure you're going to die a very sad old spinster if you keep pushing people away. She'll never be alone, Ryan, because she's got me. I would love to take another moment. We're basically not going to solve any puzzles, and I'm sorry to anyone who placed bets that we were going to do that. But, I was clearing out some old 2022 notes from my notepad, which I used to keep just various facts handy. And it had a title for one of the last Lamplight City videos that I uploaded, which was like, at least you won't be alone, which is this moment where like, if you find a certain lose condition in the game, you get thrown in jail for the rest of your life. And like the bad detective who's been like haunting you the whole game is like, well, it could be worse. Like, you won't be alone because I'm here. And it's like, that's so much worse. That's so much scarier. And like the inverse is like Scout, where Scout says like basically the same thing, and it's like, aw, Scout. So what I'm saying is that Scout is essentially the anti-Bill in almost every way. I mean, Robot is sort of like anti-Ghost, if you think about it. And he's funny and smart, whereas Bill is obnoxious and lame. And that's all of the talking points that I thought of. But the fact that he happened to say this way, like, really put that into contrast. Imagine Scouted Lamplight City. I mean, it'd be cool, but, like, would he... I mean, I guess if he's as is with the 90s technology, it'd be great. But I feel like people would definitely be afraid of him because it's implied that magic kind of exists. And also, like, people don't even like the equivalent of, like, electricity in that game. They're like, oh, no, it's evil. Like, lamps are evil. No, what did I do? No, I'm on the wrong monitor. By the way, of the many little things that I've been appreciating today, love my new monitor that I got for Black Friday. Love it. It's great. Makes my life better. Good work, Ms. Rahi. I'll get him I'll get him down to the station right away. Wow, my brain read that completely wrong. But what about this case? Hey! He would be really good at cinema sims. Oh yeah, Scout's commentary would be way better than Bill's. The game would probably be a lot longer and more difficult, though, because anytime you clicked on anything, you'd make it into a nonogram puzzle. This case can wait. Who cares about that guy who got run over by a shoe? This'll get me back in the good books with the chief. I knew there was something fishy going on there, and this is proof. You stay here. Keep looking for leads. Are you sure? I don't think that's legal. Are you turning down the opportunity to be in charge? No. I didn't think you would. Just come find me down at the station once you got something. And the Starshine Award for the Best Actress goes to... Hunter, that was amazing! Pretending to want Ryan back might have been my most difficult role to date, but it was worth it. I finally understand why humans sometimes say things that aren't true. This is a big discovery for me. Initiating algorithm. Lying. I just can't believe you really did it. I guess a part of me still wanted to trust him. Why? Why? Which it says, got a whole tea set. Electric kettle, tea, vacuum cup? What's a vacuum cup? Clothes, chocolate bombs, pound of beef jerky. That's a pretty good haul, right? Letter from Cheryl was lost in the mail system. Oh no! Does she know about that? Maybe she can send you a new one. I'm sorry that happened, Demolition. I got lots of cool stuff. As I stated earlier to people who are here like right at the start of the stream, I've hidden, in addition to Squirtle, mostly everything over here is hiding some sort of new thing. So it's going to be very exciting later. I also got a bunch of magic cards, something called Infinitokens, which are so rad. So in the game of Magic the Gathering, sometimes you like represent something that with something that isn't a whole card from your deck. And those are called tokens. And they make tokens for basically everything. And it can be kind of a pain to keep track of them. So there's a company that makes basically tiny whiteboards that are the dimensions of like a magic card. And you can draw whatever you want on it and write whatever stats or abilities you want on it. And I had a chance to play with them in a game on Spell Table this week, and I was just having a ton of fun, even though the game was extremely bad for me. If Cotillion shows up, you can ask him how much fun I had drawing tokens, because it was probably too much fun. But they're great, and I love them. But I got those, I got a bunch of stuffed animals, I got some Wally shirts, I'll probably wear one tomorrow if I remember. Like a bunch of cards. My mom got me a bunch of cards, it was great. My sister got me something I want to show up on stream tomorrow, and in addition, like a cool piece of art, like a cool Disney piece of art with a train on it, that I haven't hung up yet because I'm really bad at that. That was exciting. Like most of the stuff that immediately comes to mind, but I got like lots of cool stuff. A lot of it you'll see tonight. It'll be great. For some reason we wanted to trust him. That's dumb. Even if we didn't mean to get Blake killed, all this happened because of him. My life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute. No, I don't have a minute. All because he wanted to punish me for escaping his control. Yeah, he seems like a super cool guy that I definitely want to trust on some level. Ocean says, I think slowly I'm realizing you and Claudia are kind of the same person. I don't know that I disagree with that. I think she's probably like a lot nicer and more energetic than I am, but I feel like other than that we have kind of a lot in common. But I'd be curious for you to clarify that. I understand, but perhaps it might be helpful to think that some good came from it too. If you hadn't needed my help, then maybe we wouldn't be together now. Aw, that's sweet. I had a revelation like this the other day too. You're right, Scout. You know, you're getting pretty good at this emotional support thing, which is troubling. Soon Skynet will take over. I actually had a fun conversation with a friend today. She was saying that she felt like she wanted to celebrate Judgment Day from Terminator as though it was a real holiday. And I said that the only way you could do that is like, she said she was gonna dress up in all leather and like quote Arnold Schwarzenegger all day, which is good. And then I was like, well, at the end of the day, you have to sort of lower yourself into kind of like a pillow fort made only of like red lava colored blankets and stuff, and say that you'll be back, and then silently give a thumbs up as you descend into your bed tomb. And she thought that was great. And then we had a discussion of like, well, how do you start the day then? And I was like, well, you probably don't want to like show up naked and like fight bikers for their clothes. Although it would be kind of a funny stipulation that you could only wear clothes that you physically took by force from a biker. And she's like, yeah, I'll meet you halfway on that. I think the correct way is to wear like a flesh-colored, like, skin-tight outfit and then take the biker's clothes by force. And I'm like, the very fact that we can have this conversation and it not seem insane justifies our friendship in every way. I appreciated that greatly. Being around you at KC has taught me more than just the alternative meaning of shade. Throwing shade wasn't like a thing until like way after the 90s, right? That seems anachronistic. Who'd have thought it? Me, a positive influence on someone. There's a little Liverpool. Not me, that's for sure. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, Detective Cross put us in charge, which was his mistake. Now let's ruin this case. Right, we should talk to Roz and find out what happened at the station. Even though if it was relevant, like, presumably we would know about it. Alright, before I do that, let's, like, check every other place. I like that I can't go backstage and... Oh, hang on. Right, I gave Crispin a really creepy voice, but it was a little inconsistent. Flesh the Eternal would be a good band name. I don't disagree, that is a pretty good band name.
Like I said last night, I expect you to meet the schedule just as we both agreed.
Lone Shark. Lone Shark. But you've seen this place. It's gonna take weeks before insurance pays out, and I need to get repairs started now if we're going to reopen this month.
Sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
Not even just a few days?
Contracts are contracts, I'm afraid. And I think I've made it clear what'll happen if you're late.
He's gonna have some, like, harsh words, I bet. I was on the wrong side of this conversation today. Fine, I'll go get it.
I'll be waiting.
That sounded suspicious. You know, there are times when I feel like Honor is well equipped to be a detective, and then there's times I'm like, zoinks, Scoob. Oh, please. So does 90% of the stuff we say taken out of context. I'm sure there's a logical explanation. That's kind of true. He's gonna bring in Honor's mother as punishment. Ooh, that might be too harsh. Even for breaking a contract with a loan shark. Rather have my legs broken, I think. Oh, so now I could go backstage in theory, but I don't think I want... Hang on. Save. The middle one. Yes. Wait for save. Save complete. Close. I mean, I don't imagine I can advance the game without talking to Roz the way that was framed, but I'm still gonna go back here. Fran? Oh, Honor, it's just you. I'm sorry about earlier. I'm just a bit everywhere at the moment. Investigate! How many puzzles are left in this case? I feel like, by percentage, it should be a lot, and yet, it's been like a whole hour. We've done 0. Oh god, now I have to remember how to do these? We're not gonna get very many of these done. This is a 15 by 15. We're gonna be here a while. That's like 10 down there. 9 and 2, huh? Let's start with 9 and 2. So like... be that far down, or it could be 1, 2, space, 1, 2, 3. So just remove 3 from the other side, and that's our overlap. This 2 over here will be of no use. Same with this. Yeah, none of the edges are probably going to be anything in particular. All the scans in every single building. I know, Demolition, I know. Do you not see me going so far out of my way to avoid advancing the story even a little bit? Your dad got and then is now free of his second COVID infection. Well, I'm glad that he is over it. In my brother's family unit, only his wife has managed not to have it. Which is weird circumstances. I think no 2 of them have ever had it at the same time. Which seems highly improbable. 611. 4, that's 10. Oh, man, we're gonna be here like a while. Oh, I know one thing. This is a little helpful. So because the rightmost group is 1, it has to be this one here because I can't fit it further to the right, and then the space on both sides has to be blank. That might be useful later. It's not particularly useful now. I can try... You know what else I got? I got really good pajamas for Christmas. That was exciting. It was not something I asked for. But my mom got me these cool Charlie Brown pajamas that are like the most comfortable pajamas I've ever had. They're so good. They are probably too warm for most of the year, but they are just right for this season. So like, I'm on purple again. So like, it could be like this, and then like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think like that's overlap. I'm gonna assume that's correct, because man, be here a while. And 1, huh? Try 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I might have interpreted that wrong. Not like incorrectly wrong, but I feel like there might have been more information you could get from that than I got from that, but listen, it's my first puzzle and I'm bad, so life goes on. Oh boy. There's a lot of 7s. I'm gonna try and make the most use out of them as I can. I mean, it's the top one, so it's gotta, like, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's correct. It's, like, not the most efficient way to fill these in, but it's the thing I'm doing. Well, in the realm of things that I can prove to be true that aren't necessarily useful, there's no physical way that this space could be filled in, because it would have to be part of a group of 3 that would have to be separated from this space, if that were true. So both of those are blank. I don't think that does, like, anything for me. But it is demonstrably true. Zero prevalence is so high, I assume we've had it, just mild symptoms. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure that I haven't had COVID because I've made extremely harsh life decisions to prevent that from happening. There is one window of time that it could have happened, but it is, like, statistically virtually impossible, which was, like, in, I think it was late October of 2019, I got really sick. Like, sicker than I've been in a really long time. And I was, like, out for, like, most of a week. And my dad had something similar, although I'm pretty sure he got it from someone else, because I don't think I saw him until, like, a month later. But, like, this was, again, in, like, late 2019. So, I think there's a non-zero chance that COVID could have been in California at that time, but, like, I mean, it seems basically impossible. I just noticed something. So the rightmost group here is 4. So that means that, like, at the very least, these 2 spaces have to be filled in, and then it can either reach the edge or not. I don't know. But, like, that should be true. And then somewhere over here is another 4. Bad cold. I've heard a few stories of just, like, just super bad cold. Although I think in some people's cases they said that and ended up being wrong, which is regrettable. 6 and 5. That's not really enough to do anything, huh? I mean, I could try this. So, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Space. Yeah, space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the car, so come on, let's drive. So, the 2 rightmost group have to be 1. So, like, this should work in such a way that, like, these are 2 groups of 1, assuming that math I just did is correct. Which then means that we should probably be able to narrow down some overlap with the 5 here. I should probably be able to identify just, like, with general sight, and yet I can't. Base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, these must be part of the 5. Doesn't really tell me anything of particular use. And leave those purple. For no reason at all. What insane thing did I do here? This seems wrong. Did I really find some way to pin exactly where 7 are, or am I an idiot? That can't be right. In theory, it could be right, but, like, it can't... There's not nearly enough information for me to have done this. How? Why? How? Why? What did I do here? I think I can fix this without breaking the other stuff I did, but, like, what? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is there some reason? Like, I know that, like, this should be correct in its own right for, like, other reasons. But do I have any reason to believe that this is connected to the overlap up here? What did I do? I think all of this is fine. I think I just undo that, and I'm not sure what I did there or why. Because, like, it could easily be the case that this goes up to the top, and then this be the group of 2, and then, like, a 1 below it. At least in theory. Maybe I'm forgetting some really clever thing I deduced, or, like, I got halfway through this and, like, didn't finish doing it correctly, which seems way more likely. But is that even true? Hold on. 1, 2... And then it would be, like, all the way up to the top. Or it would be... Yeah. No, wait, that is correct. No, I think that is correct. Because I think this has to be part of the 7. And I think that's why it works, even though I didn't consciously do that correctly. Or I blacked it out completely. I don't know what happened, man. I feel like I'm dissociated. Because it'd be like 1 blank, 1, 2, space, 7. It's like that's the lowest that could go. No. No, this is correct. I'm making no changes. This is right. Final answer. I don't know. The other thing might be correct, but like I just don't think I know that. These also, like, I should be able to like make these into their own group because like there can't be a group of 1 further over. So I made a jolly little candy cane or something. So the rightmost group here is 6. So because I have a point here, it has to be part of the rightmost group because it's too close to the edge. It should be... These should need to be filled in regardless of which way the 6 reach. I don't know that that's particularly helpful, but that should be true. And then, by extension, like the similar principle, this space should have to be filled in, because this space has to be part of the top group of 5. And, like, the highest point it could go is to here, so this, like, has to be filled. Even if it's lower, like, this will necessarily be filled even at its highest point. Which tells us that this needs to be part of the group of 4 for this row, which means that this space should be blank. Because 4 can't reach all the way to the end. I've proven many things that aren't helpful true. I guess we know one person brought it to Seattle mid-January. We, like CA, have non-stop flights to Shanghai. Yeah, I mean, I know that there were, like, cases in California, like, earlier than it hit mass population, but, like, I don't know if that's confirmed to be early enough that it would have gotten to me, and also, it seems hard to imagine, like, tracing that. Like, I don't know where I would have gotten that from around that time. Like, I wasn't really doing anything out of the ordinary. How's everybody doing? Has everyone already finished this puzzle playing along at home? I bet you have. I think I could do anything there. Oh, I could probably do something with this row down here. These are relatively big numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or from the other side, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think both of those are correct. If this one is true, then it should be separated on both sides. Huh. So what that tells me, I guess I'm glad I cut the thing earlier, because I think what this tells me is that this space has to be part of the group of 2. Because I can't fit a group of 2 between here and there, so it has to be part of that. So then, necessarily, this would have to be blank. And then... So if I assume that this went up, then it would be blank. Okay, that still works, so I can't narrow it down further than that. No comment. Demolition, I know that's cheating because you've beaten the whole game. That's not a realistic comparison. Ooh, Okay, so if this is true, then I should be able to determine that none of these can be filled in because I can't fit a whole group of 4 in there. Which then leaves me with, so... I guess I can't really... I mean, I could basically... Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4... Or like... No, I shouldn't mess with this. Since I don't have the other end of this, I don't think I can do that safely, even though I could probably draw a reasonable conclusion from that. Okay, so that was a weird result. Does that do anything? 5, 6, 7, space... Okay, so because I can't fit all of the numbers in this column above this X, the last group should have to overlap here because those two should fill some amount of this space. Which then should probably let us, like, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 space... Really unlikely, but 1 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so by the similar principle we've been using a lot in this one, can't fit a whole other group to the left of this, so it has to be the leftmost group, and then that makes it 1, so it's separated on both sides. Can't apply anything similar to those. Actually, I can apply something similar, but different. Because the first 2 groups are 2. If I tried to extend these over here, I'd make groups of 3. That means that both of these have to be here with this blank, and then these both have to be filled for... Oh, sorry. This one's a group of 2. This one's a group of 1. There's nothing to narrow down this group of 6, which is fun. And then that, in turn, lets me... You should both be groups of 3. They should both look like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah, this has to be... Like, all of these have to be filled in for the group of 6 now, right? That should be right. And then this is the group of 2. Yeah, we finished most of that row there. That's good. And now if we look at these top 2, since we have something up here, these have to be part of the leftmost group, and so we should be able to extend out by 1, because even if these groups of 4 reached all the way to the end, which isn't physically possible, actually, quite the opposite, because this is a group of 2, there shouldn't be anything above that. Which means this should reach even further in that direction. That's cool. I think these are going to be staggered. Okay. These ones are not going to be easy to find. 7, I don't want to mess with right now. Ooh, here's something. So, it wouldn't be possible for this filled-in space to be part of the same group of 5 with these, which means that it has to be part of the group of 2, which means that nothing can fill this space. So a couple of options as to how this looks, so I can't do more, but that still limits that row pretty well. 2, 5, and 1. 2, space 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, space 1. Interesting. I could, in theory, fit all of these to the right of this X, so I can't narrow that down yet. Space 1, 2, 3. Similarly, there's like exactly enough space to put 3 groups of 3 to the right of that line. So that's not helpful. Okay, we got a group of 6 at the bottom of this column. This space obviously has to be part of that, so we should be able to count up 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's right. Because it can make a 6 either by reaching the bottom or going up 1. Tells us that's filled in, which is nothing really. So, this space can't be part of this same group of 4. There's only 2 groups of 4 here, and they're not close enough. So that means this is part of the leftmost group of 4, which means it's no longer possible for this to be filled in. Oh, let's take a look at this column, huh? Let's see, I've got a space at the top, and a space below that, and then a blank space and something below that, and I'm looking for a group of 4. Yeah, I probably could have caught that sooner. Then I need a group of 2, and then another group of 2. Which doesn't really let me narrow anything down other than this should be blank because a group of 2 can't reach to there. Since I can't fit 2 groups of 2 to the left of this X, it means this has to be part of the first group, and that can't reach to the left. It's a weird puzzle. None of that particularly helps. Silently stare at the game. Hand. Ow, hand. Be 1 and 4, although that's unlikely, so I don't notice anything I can do there. Let's make them 5 here. I don't think I can do anything with this column yet. At least I'm not smart enough to on a personal level. It's, I mean, 2, 2, 1, 2, that's not gonna do it. 4, 2. I think I can narrow something down here, probably. So the bottom 2 groups need to be 2 and 1. These can't be a group of 2 together, so it kind of has to be the case that 2 goes to the bottom and that's the one above it. That's like the only way that like physically works. And then how many spaces are left? 7? I don't exactly know where those are, but like 1, 2 space... Oh, no, wait, it's 2. I was thinking of this wrong. It's 2 and 4? We do know where those go. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. 2, 1, 2, 4. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so rightmost group for this row should be 1. There's only 1 space that can live now. And the next group over is 4, and that should end there. And then 1 and 2. So that row's done. Hey, we finished a whole row. Nice. 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't want to mess with that yet. I've decided. Now that this is in place, we got another one of those things where, because I'm looking for a group of 4, and this has to be part of it, this will be filled in no matter what direction that goes. And we can narrow this column a little bit because the way these spots are positioned, the group of 2 couldn't reach here and there can't be a separate group of 2 here, so these ones have to be blank because they don't fit criteria otherwise. 6, that's fine. Similarly, these have to be part of the rightmost group of 3 and can't reach all the way to this edge. And because this column needs only 1 filled-in group of 2, that means this sole space between 2 other blanks also needs to be blank. Okay. I feel like I'm making progress, but it's very slow progress that I don't feel good about. Oh, hang on. If this goes all the way to the top, it has to be part of the top group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I'll be doggone. I didn't see that coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 2, and then 1. Okay. Does that do anything cool for me? Probably not. Probably not cool. Okay, so this is a finished group of 2, the rightmost one. So I need 2 more groups of 2. 2 space 1, 2. Nope. Nothing there yet. Oh, this is all closed off, so that's got to be a group of 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. So we already have 6 in a row. That can't reach all the way up to here, which means the group of 4 should end there. That also, though, means that in this column, this space should be blank because the top one for this column is a 1. So this should be filled in. It's weird that that somehow proved itself in that fashion. But then that should be blank. Okay, it doesn't change anything below that yet. Interestingly, whether or not this is the leftmost group, this has to be blank. Does it teach me anything? Because I could do blank, blank, 2, 3, 4. No. Don't think I can prove anything about the group of 4 yet. Of mild interest, there's no way for this to be part of the group of 6, which means that it has to be a group of 1, because those are the only other things in the row. Which in turn also should indicate that this space has to be filled, because there's only 7 possible options for 6 spaces to go. And then that makes that the middle group of 1, so that's blank, which means this has to be filled in, and then this is blank, and then that's 5, and I could have probably paid attention to that at any point in the last few minutes and proved that was true just by looking at what was there. I'm not getting anything there. What do I need here? This should be a 2, so that's... for a second I was panicking, but this can work. If this space is filled and this space is filled, which I'm just going to assume is true, I will just assume that I did that correctly, then the only way that's possible is if this space is also filled in, which can be true. And if that is true, then we also know exactly where the group of 4 is and can finish that whole row, but I have to fix that because that's not correct. Boop. Okay. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this down here, there's only 2 groups, so this is part of the group of 5. Easy enough. It does also mean this is a group of 6. We have like a determined endpoint for it. So we should know that it goes all the way to the top, which means that's where the group of 2 is. Just need to fill in one of those. Feels like it might be this one. Hey, Neko, welcome to the stream. Stuck in ads. Is that possible? Rude and disappointing. Twitch, do better. Don't they know that Neko is a very important person? 2, 2, 1, 2. Nope, this one's coming out later. Ah, you're out of ads. Have one of these. Hey, good, it worked. I didn't test that at all today. What am I looking at before something happened? Not helpful yet, but that's almost helpful. Oh, wait, what's this? This is bottom group of 5. Yeah, no, that's just what that is. Bottom group of 5. That's cool. because it has to be the bottom group because I can't fit 5 below that, but exactly 5 fit there, so that's the bottom group of 5. That then makes this the group of 1 above that. And then I need a group of 2, and it kind of has to be there, and then the group of 3 is like most of that. So that's cool. We like filled almost that entire column abruptly. It says I'm about halfway through and I found myself in a contradiction. I'm pretty proud of myself that I've only really gotten wrecked by that like twice, maybe. There was like one puzzle that I like restarted twice or 3 times or something on stream. And then there was one in December where like I got halfway through and like goofed something like really bad and then just like was so close to an end that I was pretty confident mostly was right that I just started like randomly changing squares and like got there and I was like, that wasn't embarrassing at all. So since this is filled in, this should be blank and that is correct. And then that should also mean that this is a group of 1 because it can't be part of this group of 4 that's over here. So those are separated and that looks fine. It's fine. Keep wanting to like make assumptions about this row that aren't technically correct. Ooh, wait, what am I looking at here? If I filled those in, it would make a group of 5. But there's like a lot of places I could put 2, and I could still put 5 over here. And then this could be 1. So I can't... That's not anything yet. What is this? This is 6, so this can't be part of the group of 7. Yeah, that seems correct. 3. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do this backwards. I'm gonna use black squares for a second. So if I did this, and I did this, I'm pretty sure that there is no way to fit all 3 groups of 3 in this space anymore, the way this is configured. Which I think means that these 3 specifically are filled in. I don't see any immediate contradiction with that. It looks like it plays nice on every side, and I think it is technically true. So I'm going to leave this corner as such. It would also mean that this is the end of the group of 5, and that this reaches to here, which seems fine. It would mean that this has to be joined as part of the group of 9. How many total is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Seems pretty likely that goes to the bottom. Actually, it has to go to the bottom, right? If that is 8, which it is, then I couldn't put a 9th here without going too far. So it has to be blank there. That's the group of 2. That column is done. If this is filled in, that finishes the row. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, just kidding. That's only 5. But this should be blank, and this should be blank. Because 6 can't reach over there, and that's the only unfinished group. Which also means this group of 3 goes up to here, which finishes that row. This is a finished group of 2. I don't know if that's relevant to me. Ah, this is a finished group of 4. That is relevant to me. That's the only place that group of 4 can go to finish. That also means that this can't be anything because I need 1 filled in group of 2 for that column, and it can't fit in a single space, so that makes this 6, which in turn tells me that that's a finished group of 2, and also that this has to be filled in for multiple reasons. So that's cool. It does also tell me that specifically these 2 spaces should be filled in, because this can't be a group of 2 for the column, which means that this is filled in and this is blank, and the group of 3 couldn't reach over to here, which means that this is a group of 2 here, which then also means that in this row, that's the start of a group of 2 that is separated from a group of 3, 4, 5. Oh, what happened here, though? What happened here, though? What happened there, though? Look. I know what I'm gonna do.
We'll figure it out later.
This is how you solve puzzles, okay? This is how you do it. We're just gonna ignore that whole column until later and hopefully figure it out. This is not sound judgment. What's weird about that, though? Now, can I prove that this is supposed to be filled in? Yes, I can. So there's definitely something wrong there. Like, this should be filled in because it's the bottom group of 3 for this column. So then, like, that's how those groups should go. Oh, hang on. Hold on, we're making some progress, even though it's based on a flawed premise. Don't worry about it. So this should be a group of 6, which means that this is blank and this is filled in. No, wait. This thing that I was assuming true isn't true. There's a group of 1 at the bottom. But all that means is that that's filled in instead of blank. Otherwise, I think this logic is correct. 6, 1. This was the only place this could have gone, so that could have been filled in earlier. But I think this one should be blank. That looks correct, because I need... That should be a group of 2, and then a 1. And then it... Oh, something's wrong here, though. Because that can't be a group of 3. That one looks like a real problem. The column with just 2 filled in spaces I can, like, fudge, for sure. I shouldn't, but I can do that. But, like, I don't know what happened here. That feels very problematic. Yeah, and then there's something wrong here, too. How is this a group of 1 in the row? That shouldn't be right. So, what if... Okay, here's what we're gonna do now, right? I'm gonna fill in everything, and then we're gonna start using purple to mean something else. I learned a lesson that I shouldn't try to paint several boxes at once because the game stops correctly crediting the game and also makes terrible loud noises. So I'm gonna remember that and not do it, okay? Now, let's hope that when I'm done doing this, I can still remember that potential fix I was just looking at. I don't have a lot of confidence in myself. You just saw what this whole puzzle looked like as my consciousness slowly unraveled. Okay, so the thing I was looking at was somewhere around here. I think it was like, if I moved this and somehow this was filled in, then I could undo this and make this a group of 2. And then this would be a group of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? In theory? I haven't done one of these in all black in a while, and it's like really ruining my day. So that's like maybe right now. If this gets much worse, we're gonna have to start over, and it's gonna be really bad for everyone involved. Hello, Cotillion. How are you doing? Oh no, and hi, Cotillion. I feel like that's somehow like a memoir title for me. But hi, Cotillion. So, in theory, that would mean this is where like a group of 2 should happen? Does that mesh with whatever's going? No, I still need to fix whatever is happening here. Oh wait, this actually could I might be onto something. But now that's 2, 2, 1, 2. This is my 2 for the column. This is 6 across for... Like, I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it. I don't know, like... Logic was used to do this. I was not really able to explain it. Like, logic was technically used to do this, but, like, don't solve the puzzle this way. Don't do it. So, like, probably this? 3 through 3? What do I still need? 7. And that should go... here? I am more proud of that than doing it correctly. And I shouldn't be, because that's not how you do it. Mascot's head? Who killed Mascot? Double homicide. You can X out most of the last column. Yeah, I know you just showed up, Cotillion, but like that was where I first noticed there was a problem, and so I was like, I'm just gonna pretend the whole column doesn't exist because I only need to figure out where 2 spaces go. So I think that was actually a good way to start trying to fix that, but like I realized how stupid it looked, and trust me, it was stupid because I did bad. Points. Rank C. So there's still, like, something approximating, like, half of the puzzles left to do. Because I have to upgrade from, like, C to B and then B to A. And then I think you get S rank if you do all of them, right? So I think that's right. But it doesn't feel like there's that many things left to do. Honor, I believe I've detected an object of interest inside this box. 1, cut a hole in the box. 2, nonogram in the box. 3, make her open the box, and then she solves the nonogram. You're so good at these. You're probably at least as good as I am, Cotillion. You showed up, like, just in time to make it look like I knew what I was doing, but, like, 5 minutes ago I was like... Huh, it's addressed to Fran, but she's already opened it, so I guess a little peek can't hurt, right? I mean, I guess it's not technically mail fraud at that point, but I don't know that that's, like, okay. By the way, Cotillion, Neko, anyone else who I forgot just showed up? How's everybody doing? Put a cat and some radioactive waste in the box. Never check on the box. That's the Zero Escape version of that song for sure, Ditto. Yeah. Yes, that was a mascot's head. Good lord, Scout, why didn't you say something before I opened the box? I'm sorry, I was only 68% certain it was a head. Man, that really would have helped Brad Pitt in that one movie. You know the one. Thank God it's not real. Looks like it's made of fiberglass or something. Oh, that's Maggie. She's the mascot of this place. Maggie Magellan. But wait. Where's the rest of her? Based on the texture of the neck area, it would appear that this has been removed from a larger statue. But why would someone send this to Fran? Sean, indeed. Let's save again because I have little confidence in this game not to hose me. I'll save over the original one. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine, I hope. Only needs 50 minutes of commentary and you've got an Uchikoshi puzzle. I mean, to be clear, what would happen is you would do, like, 20 to 50% of the puzzle, and someone would be like, hey, picture an egg. And then you'd be like, what? And then they'd be like, an egg has yolk, and you can somehow interpret it as superpositioning or something. Quantum theory. And then, like, somehow, even though it would take you, like, 40 minutes to get through the conversation, like, there would be some in-game resource that tells you, like, 3 minutes passed. I think that's roughly how it would go, as a veteran of Uchikoshi games. As, like, one of the foremost authorities of Uchikoshi works in the United States for some inexplicable reason. That's not true. There are people who know those games much better than I do. What is this? Scouted Zero Escape. I mean, what's the weird character in Zero Time Dilemma? Is there someone here who... Castle Arg, you know that game, right? Gib or something? It's not really the same as Scout. But there's another character who's a little like Scout in that game. But, like, imagine if Uchikoshi made Scout, and they had, like, some backstory that was, like, hot garbage, and they were part of, like, one of the worst twists in video game history. Like, imagine that. That's a character in Zero Time Dilemma. No, not left. The dog? I think it's like Gib. It's like a 3-letter name that starts with G or something. Is this anything? One, 2, space, 1, space. Well, that's like really just mostly where that lives. Gab! There it is. I was close. I had the wrong vowel. Man, there's some stupid stuff with Gab, huh? 85-page backstory of Scout in a Kojima game. That seems plausible, though. It just seems like Otakon would be like, by the way, I'm sending you Scout! What Scout? And then, like, the backstory would happen. I, like, definitely think I'm much better at doing a David Hayter impersonation than I actually am, for the record. Because, like, I've done it for many people and, like, no one ever gets it. No one ever understands what I'm doing. 9 and 2, huh? 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 space. 1, 2, 3. That's fine. 8 and 1. That gives us something, but it's not much. The other way. In space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's more than I thought I was gonna get. Met David at Emerald City Comic Con 2019. That's cool. Don't know what happened to the audio recording. Did someone steal it and you weren't able to detect them because the dummy thickness wasn't causing their butts to clap as they snuck up on you? I tried really hard. I don't actually remember the quote well enough. It's such a good bit. Does anyone know why that thing happened? Why, like, David Hayter, like, recorded that, like, weird line of dialogue that was just, like, purely meme for, like, the internet? Like, Colonel, I keep alerting the guards because of the sound of my dummy thick thighs clapping or something like that. I'm sorry you lost that recording. That's pretty good. I'm gonna be here for a while. I saw that someone guessed 3. 3 feels like a safe guess today. Like, maybe 4? I don't think we're hitting 5. There was a lot of Ryan shenanigans. And also, I'm, like, doing bad and the puzzles are hard. It's not a good combination. Anyone have anything exciting to share about the new year? God, look at this row. Look at this friggin' row. 1 and 3. One of those 4 squares is right here, I guess. I mean, I guess we'll try 7 and 3, huh? 5, 6, 7, 3, 8, no, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Although... No, wait. I should employ a different method here. I know that this is part of the group of 7 already. Duh. So that instead, I can count up to 6 spaces, and it can either go there or there. And then I should be able to do the same thing here, except 1 space further. Look, I made a pixel art sword! Aren't you proud of me? Quick, screen cap this and put it on your fridge! 3 space. Okay, so this has to be part of the group of 5 in the middle of both of these columns. Does that tell me anything? It should. I don't think it does, but it should. It's 2 groups of 4 in that middle column. No idea what to do with that. I think that's all correct. I should at least be able to, because this is like a big, actually, so this needs to be part of the leftmost group because I can't fit another group to the left, so that means it can't reach to the edge, so that's blank. That might actually be helpful for figuring out where the 7 goes. But by similar different logic, I know that this is part of the leftmost group here because I can't fit 5 to the left of this. So those spaces all have to be covered. Now, I know that the 1 group of 7 for this column can't be here. And that leaves us with 10 spaces. So what does that give me, like... I have overlap? No, I need 3 on either side? 4 overlap. Yeah, that's correct. So then that tells us that that's our group of 5, and then this also should be a group of 5, which incidentally makes these groups of 5. This also is a group of 3. That all fits. Love to see that. How many squares is this now? Most of them. Most of them. Made a knife to use on bad people. I made a knife to solve all the puzzles. I want someone to make the game Knife Quest so that I can play Knife Quest, which is like an adventure game where the only item you get is a knife. But, like, it's not an action game, it's an adventure game where you have to figure out how to use the knife in every situation. Someone please make that game for me, thank you. So, if this is our group of mostly 8, then, like, nothing up here can be used. Like, the group of 8 could count up to here, or it could count down to here, and then, like, one of these bottom spaces is a 1. Right? Like, when I say that out loud, Demolition, I'm like, no, that's like, actually a good idea. Like, I would play that game, that sounds interesting. It'd probably be a little violent, but, like, I'm here for it. Aloha, Ocadius. Welcome to the stream. I hope you are doing well. Hey, while I have you here, my captive audience, we talked a little bit toward the end of last year about the concept of, like, renaming... Like, I don't even know what the descriptive term for this is. Like, the collective noun for viewers of a Vasco stream. Since, like, my solo YouTube days, I've been just calling people who watch my stuff land lovers, which no one seems to object to or particularly care for either. A few people were expressing interest in some name that more directly correlates to the concept of the electric narwhal, the submarine on which we find ourselves. What would that be, in theory? What would that be? Well, this is interesting. So, there's only a group of 4 and 2 groups of 1. I already have 3 consecutive spaces and an endpoint on the bottom. So, like, this should be filled in. And then none of that should be filled in. Which also tells me So if these are blank, that means that this is the leftmost group of 1, and I can't fit a group of 3 there. I also now know that this is the leftmost group of 2, and this is 4. So it should be separated there. We do like landlubbers? Okay, I was getting the impression people didn't like landlubbers. Maybe not didn't like, that's too strong. But like, I don't know. The knife is growing. It to me it kind of looks like finger gun. Like what's use case regular soul gun? Not the shotgun. What's the basic version one? And thank you for gifting us up to Neko to banish the ads demolition. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Sarah sees it too, right? Finger guns. Oh gosh, that's 12 months of tier 1? I didn't even notice that demolition. Good lord. You've taken care of all of 2023. That's very forward thinking of your demolition. Good grief, thank you. Have a second one of these. And also have one of these.
Giraffe.
Have a giraffe. Have a giraffe on the house, my friend. Okay, it says, we become so big you become world famous and electric narwhals become a brand. We should be the core pirates. It's strained, but I appreciate it. The giraffe looks concerning. What's the name of that horrible game? Has anyone seen the horrible giraffe? It's called Giraffe Town. Has anyone seen Giraffe Town? That game is just a nightmare, man. I saw, like, the Game Grumps playing it, and then, like, I looked up what the rest of the game was like, and then they... I don't actually think they finished playing, did they? But, like, oh my god, that game is... Oh, jeez.
Giraffe.
Oh, this is a group of 4 now, so it's like, you can separate that on either side, because that's the biggest one. And much like the column next to it, can't be anything above that. Yeah, like, seeing an image of Giraffe Town is a little upsetting, but, like, you have to see how bad the cutscenes are. Because, like, there's almost no animation. This should be a group of 3, so that should be filled in. There's, like, almost no animation, and the pauses between dialogue are so long, it's genuinely upsetting. Giraffe Town sounds like a special room at an anime convention. It kind of does, but also it would definitely be a punishment. Like, look up Giraffe Town, like, briefly later, and then just, like, understand, oh, God. I mean, I made a finger gun, like, pretty good, with, like, a giant thumb on it, but, like, now, where do I go? From here. I guess one thing I know is I can't fit, like, a separate group of 4 up here. So even though this group of 4... for this column could reach up to here, nothing can go higher than that. Which isn't helpful because all these rows up here have, like, really small groups in them. Bleach now. Yeah, Castle, I mean, Giraffe Town's really bad. And again, like, you gotta watch one of those cutscenes. They're super hyper bad. And, like, you also have to consider that, like, I don't know, probably like a quarter of the gameplay is this one just atrocious, like, glide puzzle with, like, a really narrow thing you can fall off of, and you have, like, 5 lives or something to endure the whole thing. And there are very few checkpoints. It's just, like, an extremely bad game. Like, just, like, thinking about it just reminded me of all the things about it that just seem just terrible. I mean, like, I relish in, like, obscure, weird, niche stuff. And so, like, when I saw that game, I'm like, I'm sure this will be up my alley. And then I looked into it, I was like, this is not up anyone's alley. It's a punishment from God. I really don't know where to go from here. I think the thing on top is a scope lens. Yeah, we could be working on a Resonance of Fate gun. We're gonna need, like, a lot of barrels. Some of them might be at weird angles. 4, like, groups of 4, that's, like, not enough of a thing. Might be able to do something here. Hold on. So it's, like, 15 across. 8, 10, 13. Oh, I should know like exactly where everything in this row is, right? Like in theory? Hold on. So if I... Yeah, that's like, there's only one way to do it. Like, that fills the whole thing, which means that that's filled in, and that isn't? Hold on. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this one isn't either. Okay, that's something. Oh, hold on. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2, 3, 4. There's only one group in this column. We know that if it doesn't touch this space, it can't be part of it. It's kind of like a hand hitchhike. Well, now that I've finished that row, it looks worse. Kind of looks like that like shadow puppet thing you sometimes see people do, with like the finger curled up on top, and it's like a wolf or something. Mostly positive ones. How many reviews, Castle Arg? The developer, and they've deleted all the rest? One space, definitely not 6. So then 6 has to go below that mark. How many spaces is that? 5, 8? So all but 2 of those have to be part of the group of 6. Yeah, that looks right. That means that this is part of the rightmost group of 5. Part of the rightmost group of 5. I got way more information out of that than I expected. Also means nothing over here. Which means none of these can be filled in because the bottom group for each has to be more than 2. So both of these have to be emptied out. 11 recent, 209 reviews, averaging very positive. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, like, look, people... The reviews for, like, the Somnium Files games are much too high. I actually don't know where Nirvana Initiative settled on that. I paid really close attention to where the first one settled after the fact. But Nirvana Initiative did have more of a mixed response from the Uchikoshi crowd. I think I was recounting my experience on the Zero Escape subreddit sometime before Christmas, where I was like, where I saw someone be like, I actually liked Zero Time Dilemma. Would I like Nirvana Initiative? And people were still kind of like maybe, like you have the best shot of it, but like I don't know. One of these is filled in. That's not extremely helpful. 3 of these are filled in. Also not very helpful. This might be small enough that I can get some overlap out of the 6. 5, 6. We're like 1, 2 space 1, 2. Yeah, I mean that should be filled in, which should tell us some stuff. So that should be separate. That should be separate. That should be a group of 4 and a group of 2. Wow, I gotta tell you, this is going better than I thought it would go. So these should be blank. So now I only need to finish one group of 4, and I already have 3 of them filled in. The community came around. One of the subreddit mods was gifted a copy of Nirvana Initiative and gushed about it. I mean, there's always the, like, Uchikoshi apologist. Look, I've played almost every recent Uchikoshi game on stream. I consider myself a fan of Uchikoshi's work. Now, at the same time, I'm somewhat critical of the man's work. But, like, I have seen plenty of people who just sort of treat everything he does as, like, being completely beyond reproach. And I'm like, I mean, you saw Zero Time Dilemma, right? Yeah, World's End Club did nothing wrong. I mean, it did nothing wrong for, like, 2.5 hours, and then pretty much did exclusively wrong. So, you know, take that as you will. I think I have this whole column now, don't I? Weirdly. I got the group of 1 and the group of 2. And then I know where the group of 4 starts. So, like, that should be, like, the whole shebang. Not make a whole mishmash out of it. Cool. Don't know which of these is filled in, but one of them is. Can you truly love something if you're never critical of it? I honestly think no. Like, I think it's a very insightful question, Demolition. And I think genuinely the answer to that is no. I mean, I think we all want to be, like, loved unconditionally, but, like, is it really love if it's truly unconditional? I don't know. I mean, certainly with, like, things, I think it's easy to say, like, that doesn't seem right. People is a little more complicated, but I think broadly I'm inclined to say just no to that. So I can't fit both a group of 4 and a group of 2 in here. So what that tells me is, like, this should be overlap of the 4 goes somewhere in here, and then these 2 have to be filled in. Which apparently finishes this column, so I should have worked that out. No, I had to fill in something. It could have been either of those before that. And that's true, so, like, one of these 2 is filled in. Oh, hang on. I need a group of 2 that fits in these 3. So that's overlap, and that settles where that 2 goes, so that's something. That then tells me that this has to be blank, because the group of 9 couldn't reach up past that, and it's the top one for its column. So that also tells me that this group of 2 goes here, and then that finishes the top group of 2 there. So that worked out nicely. This should then be filled in, and then, yeah, I should have been able to do that. I had a bottom mark there. Very good, Vasco. You're just so on top of this. Super proud of you. So this is now part of the group of 2 for this row, which can't reach over here. So that's cool. Anything there yet? Oh, hang on. I have like a bottom bar for this, so I should know where the whole group of 5 goes, and it's there. That's where the whole group of 5 goes. The rightmost thing here is a group of 3, which I already have some part of, so it definitely doesn't reach over there. Could reach over to here based on what we already know, but can't reach over to here no matter what. And, no, I don't know where the 1 is. I was gonna start blocking out things up here saying that I was only looking for the group of 6, but that's not true. I can't do that yet. Okay. Okay. Sure. I guess this should be filled in. Because no matter which direction... Yeah, I mean, like, 4 out of 6, the middle 2 are overlapped no matter what. This one should be filled in? No, it should be blocked off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blocked off. Which means that should be filled. And I should have done that a while ago. It's fine. Shut up about it. There's a group of 2, and here's a group of 1 above it. There's only one way to do that. So that should look like that. Oh. I know where the second to bottom group starts, so I should be able to fill that in its entirety. One of those 2 is filled in. Don't think I know which immediately. Oh, hang on. If we look down here, there's one blank space in this group of 4 that we otherwise know its whole position. If we fill that in, we can blank that out. And then we find ourselves with another situation where the 2 middle spaces in a group of 6 possible is the overlap for 4 things that need to be filled in. Right? Yeah, that works. I don't know for sure that the 1 is one of these 2 spaces, but that still has to be true. That still has to be true. The only thing I'm missing here is a group of 3, so neither of these can be filled in. Does that tell me exactly where this group of 7 is? I think it does, right? Like, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, so then that also tells me that's blanked out, this is filled in, that's blanked out. Because I'm trying to fit 3 in here, that has to be filled in. That's our overlap. How's this looking now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This can't be filled in, so that group of 6 is exactly there. That works like that, which seems to work nicely. This should be overlap for the group of 2 we're missing. And it has to go up to here because the column needs it to, and that also fills in the row at the intersection. That's good stuff. This should be blocked off because that's the last missing thing at the right of this row, which makes this the 6. Means that's done, and then by process of elimination, that's filled, and this should fill out the group of 4. Cool. Apparently this row is done. I almost know what that is. Oh, this should be its own thing, which does confirm my suspicion that I was pretty sure this had to be filled in. Finishes this column. Also tells me this needs to be filled in. Finishes this row, and I need 2, and I have 2 blank spaces, so that's where all that goes. That works nicely. Do I need to block this off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do, which then means this should be filled in, and this shouldn't. Means this should, which... Well, this can't be anything, so this has to be filled, which means that has to be filled, which means that has to be filled. It's bones! Oh, it is bones. It's an X-ray. Hey, you know what? I could mostly tell what that was by looking at it. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, we got like 59 minutes to see if I can finish another puzzle. I don't think it's going to happen. There's a slim chance that if I'm immediately able to investigate again, I can.
Otter, this envelope contains something interesting. It's plastic foil coated in silver bromide.
It's an X-ray. Looks like an arm. I wonder what it's doing here. It's attached to the shoulder bone? Look, I don't know the song.
When we arrived, Fran told KC she had broken her arm last week. Perhaps this is hers.
I'm gonna be honest, I straight up don't remember that happening. Even with him saying it, that sounds wrong. Interesting, but this X-ray is dated today. I can't investigate. No. Investigate somewhere else? Can I investigate somewhere else? I can! It's weird how, like, new clues... Oh, my God. I don't know if we're gonna do this in 59 minutes. Buckle up! I mean, I'll say this about the Uchikoshi fandom, such as it is. They seem to be unwilling to be critical of the games that have, like, any measurable amount of redeeming qualities. World's End Club being some weird exception, although not everyone even played those. But, like, the stinkers, people seem to agree that they're the bad ones. Like, Zero Time Dilemma was definitely, like, mostly disliked. It wasn't universally hated, but, like, was mostly disliked by Zero Escape fans. And from what I could tell, like, a lot of people who genuinely really liked the original Somnium Files still kind of thought that Nirvana Initiative was bad. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, we have the whole row, I think, if I did that math right. I know you probably didn't follow what I was doing. I think I finally understand the formula for telling... Nope. When a row is fillable, but it's kind of difficult to put into words or brains good. You, like, add up all of the numbers, and then you add 1 extra space for each group, discounting 1. N minus 1. That still didn't help anyone, I'm sure. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nope. Are there any big bottom groups? Big bottom groups. So should be able to determine that like this space is overlap because the bottom group here is 4. We can do the same here and here. And similarly, this one goes up an extra space because the bottom group is 5. So no matter what, if any of those reach to the bottom, these spaces would still be filled. A lot of 13s. Okay, so we filled in a few things here. So, like, this needs to be its own leftmost group. That's cool. I need a group of 1, and then a group of 2. Another group of 2. I feel like I could practically guarantee that, like, this space should be filled, and this space should be filled, and this space should be blank. But I can't quite articulate the reasoning to a point where I feel comfortable just doing it. Boy, not a great start. Terra was a great villain. Very mysterious because you couldn't understand what he was saying. Do you think that's what they were going for in with Bane in Dark Knight Rises? Spends a point to play the Terra. Do I still... Did I ever put that on here? No, I don't remember. I didn't. But hold on. I remove it from Trigger Fire. Hey, I learned a thing today. I don't have to boot up the Trigger Fire page for it to work while streaming. Because I didn't. Did I leave it on here? Yeah, I did. It's a type of mystery. Almost out of mince pies, not ready for Christmas to end. But Christmas lives on in your heart or something. At least Nirvana Initiative had subtitles. Sick burn Castle Arg. Yeah, I didn't remove those for Trigger Fire for some reason. I have the other one too that people hated a lot. Hey, I think it makes for a good trick for it to be bad. That was always kind of the purpose. Dude, there's like such small numbers, man. The numbers are so small. Oh, hang on. Because of the exact configuration of this, that should be true. Which isn't extremely helpful, but is true. Shut up about it. I mean, I think at its core, and like, spoiler alert, we played the whole thing. You can pause this video and go watch it on YouTube if you're not someone in chat now who I generally assume to have seen the whole game. I think at its core, one of the big problems with the story in Nirvana Initiative is, like, it had kind of a cool idea that, like, the killer turns up dead at a certain point, but then they had, like, no idea how to end the story, and the ending they came up with is, like, the hottest of hot garbage. And then to justify the hot garbage ending, they did, like, a bunch of extra hot garbage, freshly baked hot garbage. Like, it made a horrible, like, turducken of stink garbage. Very hot stink garbage. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nope, I already checked this column. 6 and 3. I think I could do something with 6 and 3. 6, 3, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, technically. I mean, that almost tells me something. But all I really know is that the group of 3 is somewhere in this set of 5 for the row. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm gonna take another look at this because I feel like I need to do something with this row. Purple time. So, like, I think it's possible for the group of 1 to go in either of those spaces. But Actually, no. No, that's not true. I think what needs to be done is this, 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 this. That's the only way it works, right? I think somehow these X's solve it? I don't know. Hold on. So this would be like 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. I don't know if that's the lowest group, so I can't do anything with that. I mean, there's only groups of 1, so either way this should be blank, which should in turn mean that this is filled in, which does tell me that this should be filled in because it's the only way it can be the bottom group for that column, which is cool. This can't be filled in because this has to be part of the group of 3 that can't go that far. What else do we have here? This is... Whether it's the bottom or second to bottom, this space should be blank because there's only groups of 1 this far down. Couldn't fit anything else below that. Yeah, that checks out. So that's true. I don't know about this one. Another endpoint. Do the same thing here. And then this one should go all the way down, which changes nothing about my understanding of what's above it. And this only has one group bigger than 1, so it has to be its own thing, and this is blank. The rightmost for this is 2. That tells me that that's 1, which means that the spaces below it have to be filled in, so the lowest group there is 2. That's cool. The rightmost group is 3, so that's got to be filled in. That doesn't really tell me anything. Oh, and then that whole row's done somehow, which then lets me... So the bottom one should be 1 here, and then this is a group of 2 that we've started. The bottom here is 1, and then this is a group of 2, same thing. We have here, so this is middle group of 1. A lot of 2s in this row, and I don't know what... Is there a way to fit a 2 between those? I don't think so, right? So if this was as far left as possible and this is as far right as possible, you still couldn't fit a group of 2 in there. I don't really know what the deal is, but I should be able to state that this is overlap for the leftmost group of 2, which in turn tells me that that's the bottom group of 4 and that this thing is filled in. That all seems to check out. And now, I don't know what to... No, wait, hold on. Hold on. Oh, I have the whole column, because the only group I'm missing is 6, and it goes to there. It was definitely overlap, in the strictest sense. I only need a group of 3 for this row, so these 2 spaces can't do anything. Similarly, rightmost group is 3 here, so that doesn't work. Nothing there, or... Oh, actually, now that this is relegated to like 5 spaces, these 2 should definitely be filled in, which makes that the group of 5, right? Cool. And then that's a group of 3, and then that's all filled in, which means finish group of 4, finish group of 4. Is this one like perfectly symmetrical? It's starting to feel that way. I'm not paying close enough attention to like what's going on at the top of the map. So this should be a group of 2, and likewise, it could be perfectly symmetrical. There's like weird stuff going on in the rows. That's apparently where that group of 4 goes. Presumably that's right. This should be blank. That would make this a group of 2. This should be... This can't be part of the group of 3, which means this has to be part of the first group, which means that the 3 go there. 1 somewhere in the middle. This should be where the group of 5 starts. Hey, we might finish this one before we die. That's an exciting prospect. I don't know what's going on there. Pretty strong implications on which direction this group of 2 goes in. And we accomplished a lot in that run just there, but now I don't know what to do. 1 and 2. Missing. Well, I only need a group of 5 here, right? So whether or not it goes this far, it should need to go to there. I can go up or down 1, but it can go no further. This also eliminates these 2 for the top row because this only group we're missing is 3, so it can't fit there. Leftmost group is 3 here, so similar. 3. Huh. There's only 2 groups of 3 here. So that means group of 3 can't reach to it from the existing spaces. That space has to be blanked out. Is that useful? Resounding maybe. Okay, hang on. So this row and the one below it, the biggest groups are 2. So this has to be a finished group. This also has to be finished. And this, as a result, blank. Because that would make it the leftmost group. Also has to be filled in, because that needs to be the leftmost group. And that apparently finishes the left-hand column, which is hopefully good. Also finishes this. And it tells us that this group of 3 goes exactly there, which is cool. This space should be filled in, which makes it a missing group of 2. At least a little helpful. Oh, hang on. I'm only missing 1 group, but I know its start point. 3, 4, 5. Cool. Does that change? Group of 3 can no longer reach here. Biggest groups are 2 for this row, so all that has to be blank. Yeah, this one's not as bad as it looked. Oh, I think... Isn't that how that has to work? Yeah, okay. Oh, wait a minute. Rightmost group here isn't 3, which means that this has to be blank, and this has to be 1, and this has to be the last space. So then everything else in this row that can't be part of that remaining group of 4 should be blank, in theory, and this column is done? I don't feel great about that for some reason, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Oh, the only things left here are groups of 1, so that tracks. Same thing true here. 2. The next one up has to be 1, so that does have to work that way. Here we have 1. Yeah, that's its own group, which makes this the 3. Finishes this column. Leftmost group is 2, so it can't go there. That's fine. It should be the case that this needs to be filled in, and then one of these 2 is filled in. But the next space up is 1. So it has to be separated like this, which makes this the group of 3. And then this one's filled in, which finishes that row. And only groups of 1 are missing. Only groups of 1 are missing. There's 1 space that's filled in, and 1 that's blank. I feel like we're forming like a heartless symbol from Kingdom Hearts or something. Only groups of 1 here. Leftmost group is 3, so there should be some overlap. Oh, that one's filled in, which finishes this column. Okay. So most of these are filled in because they still need a whole group of 4 somehow. And then the leftmost group here is 1. Most group here is 3. Most group here is 2. Oh, hang on. So this is blank because I'm missing a group of 2 and then 1. That means that group of 3 has to extend to at least that square. Yeah. 1 and 3. Let's have 1s left over. What am I missing? True, or do I just want that to be true? Do that, and then that. Yeah, I just want that to be true. I think that's the case. Oh, this is a group of 1, so this one has to be filled in. So this can no longer be part of that. Seems to track in all directions. That means this is filled in, and this is filled in, and this is filled in, and this is filled in? What am I missing? Nope. Something went wrong. I think that's right. So this is... like, has to work like that. And then... oh, I'm missing one here, so this should be filled in, and then I need this? Okay. It's a penguin with the heartless symbol on it. It's mascot's body. That's a weird place to find it. Delicious point. Wow, we finished that like crazy fast. Wow, okay.
Honor, I believe there's something interesting hidden behind the stage curtain. Why don't you reach down and get it?
It's a little statue of a headless sailor. It's a little silhouette of a man. No, not quite a sailor. Slightly piratey. It's nautical, but kind of fabulous. Man, that'd be a great tagline if my channel was even a little bit fabulous. Poor Maggie. What did the poor mayor do to deserve this?
Based on the angle of the cut, I believe the head we found earlier was cut from this body.
Huh, maybe we should talk to Fran about it. What's wrong, Neko? It's not June. In fact, you can only get an S if you use 0 hints in the entire game. That's kind of a fun fact. Does that annoy me on some level? I can't decide. Entrance? I hate that, like, they've introduced my apartment where, like, presumably nothing will ever happen again, but I feel the need to check it periodically. Who should I talk to first? Because I can't investigate anything, I don't think it matters. Oh, that was your guess as to what they found. I see, I get it, Neko. Sorry, the lag sometimes makes it hard to catch the comedic timing.
You again? What do you want?
What were you and Fran talking about? I overheard you and Fran talking earlier. Sounded pretty intense.
Also sounded quite private, I imagine.
Oh yeah, but
nothing. It didn't involve you then, and it doesn't involve you now.
thought your mother was supposed to be at our apartment. Yeah, we like confronted her, I don't know, like a week or two before Christmas. And then she cleared out. Hopefully forever. Why are you still here?
Business! As in, what I do for a living, and also, Nunya.
Why are you so guarded, Creepface? Is there any reason you're being so guarded?
You're really getting on my last nerve now. Just because other people answer your questions doesn't mean I'm going to.
Okay, it seems like you're hiding something and maybe guilty of crimes or like an accessory or complicit in some meaningful way.
We're all hiding things, Miss Mizrahi. There's not a single person on this planet that isn't keeping secrets.
I don't think Scout is.
I dare say that as a public figure, yours are particularly valuable. And collateral is a large part of my business.
You threatening me?
Of course not. Why would I have any need to threaten you? I'm merely saying that those that look for skeletons in closets should keep their own affairs in order, lest the investigator become the investigated. Now, if you'll excuse me.
It's weird. I pressed that button like 3 times and it didn't work. Can I show him this severed head that feels like an act of intimidation? I'm not interested in looking at your garbage. Okay. He has a really fancy suit. He has, like, textured suit. I don't know. Who is he? He's probably a loan shark. He, like, was gawking at the crime scene and said he had nothing to do here, and then started trying to intimidate Fran, and then just, like, hung out. Game said we were supposed to talk to Roz next.
Now look who it is. You here to get me sent downtown again?
Sorry about getting you in trouble. Sorry about getting you in trouble with Cross. It's nothing personal. I just desperately want to put people in jail all the time. It's a problem. Also, it's personal because I don't like you.
It's fine, darling. Wasn't my first time at a police station, and it probably won't be my last.
How did it go down there?
I ain't a suspect anymore, if that's what you're asking. But heck, given my history, I'd probably think I had something to do with it too. Good thing I had an alibi. Ho ho ho!
What do you mean your history? And don't tell me your number. I don't want it.
I ain't hiding the fact that I've been in a lot of scuffles in my time. That's the danger of growing up with 5 brothers, you see. Heck, if I hadn't learned to stand my ground, I'd have been trampled into it.
I didn't want to be rude, but you did come across a little scrappy. I just assumed it was part of the character.
Well, it kinda is. I'm just that kind of person, but I get to express it in 2 different ways with my 2 jobs.
You have another job? Gulp.
This gig didn't pay enough to make a living, so I also work as a security guard during the day. But it's kind of restrictive, you know? You have to act like a tough guy, wear a certain uniform, strike fear into the hearts, be all butch and masculine.
That sounds scary. Do you work at a prison?
Ah, no. Shady Acres Retirement Village.
Yeah. Ding dong. What was that alibi?
Sure, I didn't mention it earlier because Fran was around and it's kind of sensitive, but this'll explain it.
This'll explain everything. And I sure hope that her head explodes in a second. Oh, it's puzzle time! I didn't realize it was puzzle time. It's time for puzzles. The puzzles for Kuzco. The puzzles chosen specifically to stump Kuzco. Kuzco's puzzles. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Great. This row is also done, like the one on the very left. Squeak, squeak. Man, I haven't heard a good squeak, squeak in a minute. Oh dear. Some weird stuff here, huh? Okay, so we only have a group of 6 here. So it definitely has to fill this space, and it can either reach to the edge or go 4 spaces over. I guess I could do something similar with this 7, huh? So it could possibly reach to the edge. Or it could go like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's good. So if this space is definitely filled, which I believe that it is, and we know exactly where the bottom group is, it means that any additional spaces filled in here have to be groups of 1. I need 2 more of those, so I can't fill that all together. After there's a million top layers, none of which go together, including stripes, polka dots, and the bottom half is just underwear. Yep, it is very unfortunate. I assume that's the point, Neko, is that you find that unfortunate and not enviable. It's a choice. I respect it on some level. I would not make that choice for myself. So this has to be part of the rightmost group, which means that these 5 go all the way to the edge. Does that tell me anything important? Surprisingly, it doesn't. Surprisingly, that tells me nothing important yet. Interestingly, what we've done here suggests that this has to be part of the rightmost group, because I can't fit a group of 4 further to the right. Which then tells me that neither of those spaces can be filled. Which by further extension means that neither of these spaces can be filled because the column suggests that the bottom group has to be 2. That in turn means that these are overlap, and then let us do additional groups counting from the very bottom for their respective columns. There's also 3, 3. So this should mean... So if I tried to put a group of 3 here and then count this as the next group of 3 over, it instead makes a group of 6. So what that tells me is that this is actually the rightmost group of 3, which means nothing to the right of it can be filled in. And then this has to be the middle group of 3, and then this is overlap for the 2 there. Also, this should necessarily be the bottom group of 1 for its column. Now that I've done this, should mean... Since there's a really hard edge on where this group of 6 can go now, we should have like a bunch more additional overlaps. So here's group 2. Nope. Group of 2. Actually, no, that is correct. So that should be the bottom group of 3 because there's no other group of 3, and all 3 spaces are already filled in. That means this group of 6 goes all the way there, and this is our group of 4, and this is blank. And now there's only one set of 3 spaces the 2 can go in, and that's overlap, and that corresponds to the bottom group for its column. All of that is great. Great news. Okay, we're in a weird position where this has to be the leftmost group of 1. This represents overlap of where the group of 3 could possibly go, and we've already done the overlap for the right-hand one. Still love the soundtrack, Demolition. It's a good soundtrack. I do get a little bit tired of the main screen theme. Ooh, try saying that 10 times fast. But mainly because I end up listening to it for like 30 to 40 minutes before the stream starts when I play this game, while getting set up to make sure everything is working. And also because, for whatever reason, it's balanced way louder than the music in the rest of the game, so it is a little tilting to me because I find that generally bothersome, as you've most likely heard me complain about many times in the past. Please audio balance your games, please. Since this one has to be filled in, it tells us that like most of this column is not, because it only needs a group of 3. Anything that can't make a group of 3 from that point isn't filled in. That in turn tells us the leftmost group of 3 here. Don't know about that group. Whether it is the rightmost one or the second one in, this should be a group of 1. You couldn't fit anything more over there. I should be able to count this. It is a single group of 1. Very exciting. Hang on. So, because in this column, the bottom groups are 2 and 1, and not like 4 or more than that, this has to be blank to keep them separate. This would also be blank, which means that this one's filled in and makes the bottom group of 1 here, and also makes this the end of that row and the end of that column. That also tells us is that this is exactly where that group of 3 fits in, It makes it the middle group of 2 here. And then this becomes the only remaining group of 3 there. And something else. That's the leftmost group of 1. Hmm, 2, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Nope. I only really touched on this briefly. How was Christmas and New Year with the family? It was good. I got to see my sister, my brother-in-law, and my brother and sister-in-law, which rarely happens in the same year necessarily, let alone during the same week. It did also mean I got to see my niece and nephew, who and I'm going to use really heavy air quotes on this one, helped to take care of, because my parents did most of that. My brother and sister-in-law stopped briefly at my parents' house to drop off their kids so that they could fly to Maui and spend like less than 24 hours at the house for Christmas. In the same room? No, absolutely not. Certainly not in the same room at the same time. That hasn't happened since like 2016 or something. I think that's the year my mom did the math for. But yeah, so like I saw my brother and sister-in-law super briefly, particularly because my sister-in-law was like working the one day they were there. It was a wild ride. But yeah, I got to spend, I mean, it's more time than I've ever spent with my niece and nephew. And that was fun. It was very tiring, and I'm not good at it. Poor kids got left behind. I mean, to be fair, they love Nana and Pop-Pop, which they should, because they're great, and they take great care of them, and they love them very much. But, like, it's a weird happenstance. It's the sort of thing that occasionally happens. But, like, they seem to be having a good time. My mom did mention that when I left, there's a day that, like, we sort of told them in advance that, like, I had to go back to, like, go, you know, live my own life and get back to work and whatever. And we, like, warned them in advance, and I left during nap time so they wouldn't, like, make a big fuss about seeing me leave or anything. And, I'm told that my niece was, like, inconsolable afterwards, and I'm like, that's sweet. And also, I'm really sorry that happened, because I'm sure that made that day really difficult. And Pop-Pop German? I don't know. I mean, I know that, like, we always called the grandparents on my mom's side Nana and Pop-Pop. So, that kind of suggests the tradition might have come more from my mom's Irish side, but, like, I don't really know. I think for a while my dad was briefly entertaining trying to get the grandkids to call him Doodah, which is a reference to a specific Christmas movie that we like that, like, no one has ever seen before. And it would have made me really happy if we actually committed to that, but I respect the human play of, like, using a normal name for the grandchildren to call them. Getting tricky in here, huh? Or is it just me? Gosh, wish I knew where that 2 went. 4 is doing nothing for me. I really don't think any of these groups, even with, like, the reduced sizes of many of these areas... Well, I'm mostly looking at the columns. I gotta be able to do something with this 8, right? Hold on, give me purple squares. Purple squares activate. New construction options. That's 8, right? 4, 7, 8. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. So delete 4. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled me staring at blank spaces. As in my family, one of my grandmas was Nanny, but I know yeah, Nana's, like, fairly common, I think. I don't think it's, like, extremely German. I'm not sure about Pop-Pop. But if you're calling it Pop-Pop, I know you're not ready to have it. That's something I've learned. That's side great-grandma, which is literally witch. You call your... On your... your dad calls his great-grandmother witch? Like the spellcaster? I don't understand. This is a group of one. One of these is filled in. The others are not. Oh, no, hold on. Because, hang on, I did this wrong. Purple squares reactivate. Form of filling in erroneous spaces. There's a group of one, so, like, this can only go to, like... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's right. My brain short-circuited a little bit there, but I think that's probably... No, I'll leave those purple. That's fine. You could be purple. That's fine. I have to undo that manually, which is a huge pain in the butt. But, like, you could be purple. Small town in Italy didn't talk to her and was afraid of her. Stayed for a few days as a little kid and hated it. You have non-stream appropriate stories. So, just to be clear, are you or are you not saying that, like, the nickname for your father's great-grandmother was to like, affectionately call her witch? Or are you simply stating that the great-grandmother was a witch? Or was she a witch named Witch? That sounds like a children's movie circa, like, 1994. Okay. You see how I'm confused, though, because we were kind of, like, deconstructing, like, nicknames for grandparents, and you're like, my great-great-grandmother was a witch. I choose to believe that she's a witch named Witch, because now I'm enamored with the idea. Okay, so I need a group of 2 somewhere, and it kind of has to go specifically here for this row. Which means that it is the next group of 1 up. And then... 1... No, don't really get much from that. There's a couple places the 1 can go, so I don't really know what to do with that yet. Can I do anything with this? These are some relatively large numbers. So, like... 2... 1... I'm pretty sure that this has to be... like, literally the 1, right? Like, it can't be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so this is literally the second from the rightmost group of 1, which means that this space has to be filled as part of a group of 2. And then either this or to there. I think this should be overlap for the group of 3 that's needed. I think that's right. I think so. One story, she caught a porcupine, wrapped it in a shawl, and handed it over as a ball. You can guess the fallout. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. Oh, this has to be the group of 2 for its column now, in theory, which also would hypothetically mean that this is the group of 4 for this column, which would in turn mean that this and this would have to be filled, which I don't feel great about, to be honest with you. I feel, like, kind of sketchy about that. To the point that, like, those ones get to be purple for a little while. If this one's filled, there's only 1 group here. That makes those 5 consecutive. Topmost group of 4 can no longer be there, which is kind of obvious considering there are only 2 groups and I already filled 1. So I should have had that in place sooner. There's too much space to narrow that down. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2? Hang on, 2, 1, 2? I feel like we should be able to do something with that. Purple squares activate. So, like, 2, 1, 2? Yeah, that's, like, literally the only way that works. Purple squares deactivate. Which tells us that this is not a filled-in space. And there's only groups of one. Okay. Ooh, hold on. Hold on a second. So, I can't fit a whole group of one to the right of this, in this row, right? So that means that this has to be the rightmost group, which means it's one by itself. But that then in turn tells us exactly where the group of 8 goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which, like, I mostly knew, but, like, shut up, I'm excited about it. This is also a group of 1, because there's only groups of 1 in this row. This and that's not really updated. Okay. If we look at this one, though, this has to be part of the rightmost group of 2, and then it needs to be separated, and then that's, like, exactly where the group of 4 goes, and now there's only 3 spaces, and I need 2 spaces separated by 1, so there's only one way that works. Okay, where are we at in this one? 1 and 1? 1, 2, 1, 1? 1? Yeah, that should be right. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. And then, like, a group of 2 somewhere up there. Shut up about it. This is a group of 2, and then this is all finished. This is a group of 1. Nope, group of 1. And a group of 3. And that's blank because I have everything filled in that I need there. This is a group of 3, which is the biggest thing in the row, so I can't add anything to it, and that also means that that is finished group up there. Nope, don't know what to do with those yet, but it's important. 2, 1, 2? Yeah, so now there should only be 2. Like, that has to be filled in. This has to be filled in. And this should be overlap for the remaining possible place I need a group of 2. However, this row is completed as I've filled in the 2 individual groups of 1. I'm only looking for groups of 2 in this rightmost column, which means that this can't be anything, and this can't be anything, and this can't be anything. Which also checks out with the fact that I've filled in 2 spaces that are part of 2 separate groups, although I haven't narrowed that down particularly further at this point. Not quite here, but we're close to that one. This is a closed group, which means that this is nothing. And the last space in the row should be filled in, which makes that the group of 2. Makes this a finished group of 5, which means that's one of the groups of 2. Oh, hang on. One of the groups of 2. This is the other group of 2 when I fill it in. This should have been next out before, which also means that's filled in, which means that it's by itself because it's a group of 1, and then we finish that group of 7 over there, and it needs to be a group of 2, so blank that out. Only groups of 1. What am I looking at, by the way? Is this like a Space Invader from Space Invaders? This should be filled in. This should not. This leaves me with this filled in. And 2, 1. 1. This. Of course, it's purple. This looks like sprite art for like an old SNES RPG, is what it looks like. I'm sort of picturing like a thief standing on tiptoe, like the 2 red dots are its eyes. This is kind of like its pants or something, and it's like up on one foot, and the other one's implied to be back here. And like maybe it's holding like a wallet or a treasure chest, these like brown pixels. And it's just got like a goofy hat on. Like, that's what I'm seeing. It definitely doesn't look like a matchbook. I think it's a pixel art thief. It's a book of matches. Looks like they're promotional. It says The Boiler Room on the front. Boiler Room? That's another gay club over in West Hollywood. Not my sort of place. It's twinks as far as the eye can see. That ended up being more British than it was supposed to.
It's this place's main competition, actually. That's where I went after I left here last night. Started performing there now and then. It's tricky. I love Fran. I do. But I know the writing's on the wall for this place. All of us girls do. I gave Cross this matchbook. He called them up and they confirmed I was there till a few hours ago.
I get why you wouldn't want to say this around Fran.
I'm sure she would understand, but I don't want to hurt her feelings, you know?
Well, we should go. We've taken up enough of your time, maybe.
No skin off my nose. I'll be here if you want to ask me anything else.
I'd rather not.
Roz, can I ask you something?
Sure thing, little guy. What's up?
You seem to know a lot about
Gender.
people keep referring to me using male pronouns. Does this mean I am a man?
This feels a little woke for an AI of the 90s. It's a fun thought though.
Oh boy, that is a big question. Well, you're a robot, right? So I guess you're not really a man or a woman. Maybe folks just call you he because it's easier? Or maybe because we live in a man's world and that's just the default.
I mean, I'm actually disappointed by this answer because, like, if gender is really just an expression of what you feel like you should be, I feel like her response should be like, you make that determination to some extent. Like, I don't know how you would put it, but, like, I feel like that's the answer I want her to give.
But I have male and female interface connectors. Here, let me show you my RS-232 cable.
Whoa, buy me dinner first, Scout.
Thanks for the offer, but I wouldn't know what to do with them. Listen, Scout, the truth is, this isn't really something you need to worry about too much. You're just you. That's enough for now.
Again, I feel like there's maybe a missed opportunity in a way of phrasing this that's more like, you know, it's whatever you want to be.
Just keep trucking on. Maybe over time you'll feel more one way or the other. Or maybe you'll feel a bit of both, or neither.
It could be like that webcomic about Thor and Loki that's always, like, circulating somewhere. Where, like, Loki is changing his gender in, like, multiple conflicts with Thor. And Thor just continues to be respectful of the changing pronouns despite the fact that they are clearly fighting each other.
There's no need to decide now. Just live your life, baby. Yeah, baby. It's Austin Powers. It's the 90s.
I think I understand. I am Scout.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, I give that like a B for interaction. I like that they found somewhat unexpected but, like, very motivated interaction between two characters I wouldn't necessarily expect to share a scene, but I feel like we pulled our punches to some extent, and I feel like we could have done a little better. I don't know. I liked it though. Let's do a save. This one. Is there any immediate puzzle? There's something, like, mildly unintuitive about this map system. I keep having to think harder than I feel like I should to, like, pick a location. I guess I could just click the image. For some reason, because you get the audio response moving this, I always thought you had to click this. If I just click the one I want to go to, it might make my life easier. Feel like I gotta keep checking. So I talked to Roz and I talked to the guy, so I guess we'll talk to Fran and then see where we're at. I don't know if we want to do, like, a whole other puzzle, but, like, maybe we got, like, kind of a story thing coming up because we've done a bunch of puzzles. I'm actually going to save again because I don't trust the game not to throw another surprise puzzle at me. I just want to have the option there. One thing that you commend Whoopi Goldberg on is when they did the Next Generation episode and she refused to say a man or a woman when Data made a child. That's not a thing I've heard. Was that like was that a decision on her part? Like that wasn't like something in the script she was just like, nah. Just notice that the picture for Investigate has Scout with a magnifying glass showing a zoom in on his eye, indicating it is not a solid line, but rather made of smaller squares. That's why he sees everything as nanograms. I see your point, Ditto. It is a good attention to detail, but also, as a wise man who gave me this shirt once told me, the world looks different through a saltine. Really, she nearly walked out of the show over that. That feels uncharacteristic, but I appreciate it. Bergman was insistent? What a weird hill to die on. Hi, Fran. I don't know that I want to know about Fran's downstairs. Do I have to ask about Fran's downstairs? That's Fran's business, and I don't necessarily want it to be my business. Couldn't help but overhear your discussion with Crispin downstairs. I was unaware that there were stairs leading from there to here, and I feel a little better now. Since you aren't seeing the world through curved glass. Hey! Hey! Oh man, that just gave me like the dumbest idea for like another thing I could add to the stream. I'm gonna make a note so I don't forget this, even though I'm not working on this anytime soon. Oh man, that's a really bad idea. No one will like but me. That's why we stream, so I can force my sense of humor on other people. Aren't you glad? Oh, he's just my, alcohol supplier. Just an issue with the latest invoice, that's all. Just leave it, please. Stop asking incriminating questions about my criminal motives. Okay, I have no idea what to do next. Let me check something, though. Matches. Bottom of mascot. X-ray. Mascot's head. 4 puzzles? An odd number. Except for the fact that it's even. Oh, almost closed. Nope, did close the window that I didn't want to close. Excellent. Very good. Reopen window? Does this break something? I don't think this breaks something. Oh, but now I have redundant instances of chat. So good. Ooh, someone actually got a guess of 4 in. And I'm guessing it's demolition because their guess was 87% of the vote. With 22.7 thousand channel points. Do you do that just to flex? That wasn't you? Well, I mean, I'm just gonna double check because that's a lot of points on the line, but that was 4, right? Matchbook? 2 parts of a thing? X-ray? Okay. Choose outcome. 4. We have 2 minutes and we're definitely not finishing a puzzle in 2 minutes. Congratulations, mysterious whale spender. Yeah, unfortunately, like, I don't think it's realistic to... I think the longest you can do a prediction is a half hour? It might not even be that long. It doesn't feel like it's super helpful to leave it open for crazy long, even though it's like a 3-hour window to solve the puzzles. It just feels like it will invite people to try and wait to enter their guess, and then they might miss the window because they're paying attention to the stream. I feel like I like the 10... Maybe I'll do like 20 minutes next time. But I feel like I don't want it to be a super huge window. Let's see if I can investigate something. You know what I haven't noticed until now that I appreciate? The music's kind of like muffled here. But then when we go to the main, like, area of the club, like, the audio kicks up to another level. Like, there's more going on, like another part of the track is playing. That's fun. I like that. Like, I am not even inclined to notice that kind of thing because I'm musically an idiot, but, like, that was cool. Okay. So, I literally don't know what to do next. I assume that I'm supposed to talk to... What is the name of the hideous woman? Rosmosis. Unless you're talking about Mama, but that's a different game. I kid. We love Mama, kind of. We also fear Mama. Definitely not kidding. I'll ask him a question, but I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, I'm supposed to show Fran the X-ray, probably. Hey, Fran. What happened to your arm? Is this X-ray yours? Yes, didn't I tell you earlier? I fell and broke my arm last week. My medical database identifies it as a comminuted fracture. That's a serious injury. Comminuted is a stupid word. Mostly because I can't read it and it makes me feel dumb. And it hurts like the dickens. That's the danger of high heels, though, I guess. There's one thing I don't understand. If you broke your arm last week, how come the X-ray is dated today? Oh, that? I just dropped by the hospital this morning to get a checkup, that's all. Yeah, I bet you have great insurance as like a small business owner of a failing business funded by loan sharks. The only other... I mean, I guess I could ask about, like, all of the stuff I found today, basically. Fran, I found this package. Oh, it's Scout. Fran, I found this package. Scout, it's not necessary to look at every package you find, even in this drag club, okay? And... it has a head in it! Oh my god, oh jeez, oh my god, oh no,
I don't need a map to get to Bonetown.
I don't need a map to get to Bonetown, but... maybe to Skull Island would be useful, where the head was found? Luckily it isn't a real head, but still! That? Oh, that's the head of Maggie, our mascot. It fell off, so I figured I might as well send it away to get repainted. What's the big deal? Fran, I found this downstairs. If it's another flag, yes, you can keep it. Aw, that's kind of cute. Well, there's a bone, so you shouldn't need a map to get there. No, Nego, like, Bonetown's like a concept. It's not like the place where all bones are found. I think. And we've already spoken about the mascot. The neck area has an irregularity based on your testimony. According to you, the head fell off. However, the texture and angle of the plane of breakage would indicate that it was cut off with a rough blade, most likely a hacksaw. In other words, you or somebody else deliberately cut the head off this mascot. Well, that's... See, if we were playing a Phoenix Wright game right now, she'd have, like, a full-on breakdown. Don't ruin the magic, all bones live in Bonetown. I mean, maybe Bonetown means different things to different people. Like, have you ever heard of Sniper Island? It's in all of our hearts. And so it's okay for Sniper Island to mean different things to different people. Like, for it to deeply upset my friend Nick every single time I mention it to them. I know what's up, Fran. And if you can't bring yourself to say it, I will. Duel. Maybe the bones were inside us all along. No way. I couldn't be housing a scary skeleton. But I do think that I have an electric jellyfish inside me, probably. You've never heard of Sniper Island, Neko. But that's where Stoga King is from. He hails from Sniper Island. It's an incredibly stupid subplot from One Piece. There's a point where, like, one of the characters is, like, too proud to admit that he's wrong, like one of Luffy's Nakama. And so they have this big fight, and then he, like, disappears, but they kind of need his help, and he's aware of that. So he comes back wearing a mask and, like, is otherwise obviously himself in every conceivable way. So, like, almost everyone on the crew other than Luffy is aware of the fact that it is the guy who left. But he is, like, enthralled. He thinks he's this mysterious, like, gunslinger-style character just, like, wandered in from nowhere and came from a place no one's ever heard of. And is just, like, fascinated by every insane thing that he says that is, like, a terrible, easily discernible lie. It's, like, funny, but it's incredibly stupid. And the stupidity of it upsets my friend Nick quite badly. Anna, what's this all about? It's nothing. I feel like all of these options undercut what seems to be the really heavily implied thing happening here, which is that Crispin is most likely a loan shark. Sugar Daddy is definitely not correct because the harassment angle, but harassment in and of itself feels like it is insufficient in describing what's going on. Roz is trying to sabotage the club. This is the option you pick if you're really not paying attention. Crispin's been harassing you. How did you... We know you got a loan from somewhere other than a bank.
Also, we overheard you and Crispin earlier. He warned you about what'll happen if you're late.
That's why we found the club mascot's head in a box, isn't it? Crispin mailed it to you as a threat. I can't hide it anymore. You're right, I've gotten myself into a real bad situation, Cool Cat. Oh, babe. This place doesn't make much money, and I was desperate to rejuvenate it. I really thought it'd help us pull more people in. After all the banks rejected me, a friend told me about Crispin, and I went to get a loan. I thought I'd be able to pay it back easily, but things haven't been any better. Who is your friend who casually recommends you a dangerous loan shark? A, like, literally who is that friend and why do they have that information? And B, are they really a friend if they recommend you a dangerous loan shark as an option? Why didn't you come to me? I could have helped. Could you? Listen, I don't want to disparage you, Casey, but as, like, the, like, head makeup artist for a fairly successful TV show, I'm still not sure you're making, like, enough money to, like, subsidize a whole small business. That feels unlikely. I managed to make the first few payments, but I've been late on the last couple. That's when the threats started. Phone calls turning up unannounced, and yes, sending me Maggie's head in the mail. Do you think he's behind what happened today, too? Yes. That must be it. Oh, okay, so that's definitely not it? That's what I've gathered? Is that any small chance that I believed that you weren't guilty of crimes is squashed by the fact that you very obviously lied to me just now? Come on. Could have helped with Roz's outfit. That's fair, Neko. And also, like, probably should have. I feel like there's, like, an ethical obligation to... That's fine, though. He crashed a float into the club to show what happens to people who don't pay. It reminds me of that extremely poor taste joke from South Park from like a million years ago. A lowercase t standing for time to leave. And I'm not going to explain that any further if you don't know what that means, because the joke is in very bad taste, even though it's still a little funny. Why didn't you tell us this earlier? Because I was ashamed. I'm in a huge mess, but it's all of my own making. And now someone died because of it. I'm sad you didn't tell me, but now I know. We can put our heads together and work on a plan. There has to be a way out of this.
Honor, Crispin was inside the club a short while ago. We should confront him before he gets away.
Oh yeah, that's a thing we should do, as definitely not actual police. Hey, in addition to, like, randomly being able to record stuff, although actually, in hindsight, even though we told him to record, he didn't, or it's implied he didn't have to, so there's no confirmation that he can record stuff on the fly with a magical 90s camcorder. But in addition to that hypothetical magical 90s camcorder, do you have some sort of, like, semi-automatic weapon installed in you, Scout?
Be careful, you two. He may look unassuming, but he's dangerous. Don't underestimate him.
Crispin, we want a word with you.
I only have 2 words for you. I'll give you a clue. The second word is off. The first one often autocorrects to duck.
Oh, is it Bake Off?
What? No.
We know you've been harassing Fran. Again, a dramatic understatement. We know about the loan, and that you cut the mascot's head off. Hey, what's our plan? Is it to die? Is the plan to die? Because if so, top marks. Otherwise, not like a great plan.
I told you to keep your nose out of this.
Admit it. You crashed that float into this club. You killed Oliver Laurel. God, we're a terrible detective.
If you don't stop trying to dig up dirt on me, so help me God.
I'm taking you down to the station to talk to Detective Cross. Again, my primary wish appears to be death. This was highly predictable, and also, like, to some extent preventable, but we really stepped directly on that rake.
No, you aren't.
Hunter, be careful! In another few hours, the sun will rise.
Listen to your Walkman if I were you.
Okay, there's no need to escalate this. Clearly, I am a bad detective.
But there is, I'm afraid. You're treading on dangerous turf.
Just put down the gun. If you're innocent, there's no need for you to be scared of me. I just want to know the truth. Yeah, except he's, like, not innocent. He just, like, didn't do the murder. He's just guilty of separate crimes. So, like, he still has incentive to, like, take you out. Like, this was a bad plan. So, is the resolution of this gonna be that, like, our mom's gonna come in and, like, judo chop this guy on the neck? I would almost be here for that.
Scared of you? I gave up being scared a long time ago, Miss Rahi. We're 3 weeks into Lent and I gave it up for the season. It's astonishing what money can do for one's social standing. All those people that treated me like garbage, that looked down on me, they seem so small when they come crawling to me for money. Except no, I'm not scared of you. I'm the one who does the scaring now. I am the one who knocks.
I keep fluctuating in and out of the zone where that's irritating my throat. It's the voice I want for the character, but I don't have full control over it. Just put the gun down, Crispin, and let's talk. This isn't helping you look innocent. Again, really misjudging the situation.
Perhaps not. And yet I am innocent. I just can't afford to be dragged into an investigation when my work is somewhat unsavory. This is my final warning to you, Honor Mizrahi. I played no part in the death of Oliver Laurel. Look for your murderer elsewhere. It's taken me years to make something of myself, and I won't allow you to tear it all down. Stay away from me, understand?
Whatever you say, Crispin.
Glad to hear it. In that case, I hope to never see you again. It's a pun. Get it? Ha ha ha. Maybe I'll kill you later. JK. For your sake.
That was so scary.
We need to tell Detective Cross about this, and our abject failure as an amateur detective.
Honor, wait for me.
You just walked out the door that the murderer just left, threatening to kill you if he ever saw you again. Okay, cool, I can go to the precincts. I don't want to do that. I want to stop playing before my voice implodes. This one? This one. This one. Hey, the music stopped. Despite the mediocre audio balance that this game provides on a natural basis, there's some good, like, actual sound design to the club space in particular. There's probably been other things I didn't notice, but, like, that, I enjoy that. Let me do... Hi, it's Big Vasco. We have to stop playing or I'll die. Return to title. Exit game. He says, that feeling when you make a mistake, you have to redo work, but you're so frustrated that you lost 2 hours of work, that an hour into doing it, you make another mistake and have to start over again. Oof. That's unfortunate. Tales from Zero. Tales from Zero? Is that a Zero Escape spin-off with fairy tale characters? Narrator is not. Yeah, so somewhere on the couch behind me, I've hidden a secret Squirtle. There may be some other things of note worth discovering. So I really encourage you to take a moment to consider where Squirtle might be hiding, and take a guess where you think it is. Neko's already played along. I'm gonna mostly finish this apple juice. The Igor voice really got away from me. Oof. Burf. There was a game, so I played a game from Triace, right? The like generic form of TriArts. And I was kind of into it, but the dungeons had this like really long bloated aspect to them, and you had to like replay them repeatedly. And I like finally made it to this new area, and like somehow I experienced some like cheap death like really far, like over an hour into the dungeon, and like there's no save point in the dungeon at all. So like I never played that game again when that happened. I was like, yeah, you know what? That feels like a sign that maybe I don't actually like this game. That you can get set that far back and it's just kind of normal. And I'm pretty sure it's like actually a really long game. It was kind of an okay game, but I was like giving it a chance because I was mostly enjoying it. But then when that happened, it was like, no, I'm good. But if you want like a good RPG, as I said at the start of the stream, I've been playing Pokemon Violet since I got it for Christmas, and really greatly exceeds my expectations so far. What's funny is like even the tutorial is like really quite good in my opinion, to the point that like there's like a little bit of story that happens between the tutorial and what appears to be the game at large, and that's like easily the worst part of the game so far. Like not the tutorial, like the weird kind of long story bit that like forces you to interact with stuff instead of just being a cutscene. It's just like dumb. It's not like a huge thing, but like I was pretty frustrated by the end of it because I was like, no, you showed me the fun bit and then you made me spend like 45 minutes doing this lame thing. I don't have that much time to play games. Give me the fun back. Whole thing. Ruin the current move feelings from the great story. Oh, that sucks, Arcadius. I'm sorry, but I do relate. Okay, I see a couple guesses. Feel free to throw out some last minute ones if you want, because there's lots of fun things to find. So we got Pusheen, Ninja Turtle. What Pokemon have I liked most from Violet? I'm weirdly attached to what is he called? Like Spide Ops? The thing that like Tarantula becomes. It's like this weird like man spider that's dressed in like commando gear or something. I don't know why I've become really attached to it. Like it was incredibly difficult to get it to evolve, and I was like, I know it's gonna be awesome. And it's like kind of okay, but like it's been my like most reliable guy. So like I'm kind of into him. I really don't like Palmy, the like electric thing. I think I have a bad one because I think it's supposed to be good at special attack, and mine has some nature that lowers its special attack. So its special attack sucks. So it kind of just is terrible. Yeah, I'm trying to play with like mostly new generation, like I was originally trying to play with exclusively new generation Pokemon. It's a physical attacker. Oh, then it sucks even more. If that's true, then it's really bad. Then I really don't like Palmy. um, but I say mostly because I got thrown a curveball. Like a few hours into the game, I found a shiny Mareep, and I'm like, nah, I love it too much not to train shiny Mareep. So like, shiny Mareep has to come with me. Do I love Smoliv? Smoliv's pretty good. I haven't trained it yet, but I caught one because they're not super far into the game. Yeah, I was really excited. Like, shiny Mareep's like a good one. Yeah, I don't think I've seen the evolved form of Smoliv yet. Anyway, let's go find a Squirtle. Let me know if you have any last second guesses. So, Ninja Turtle, Pusheen, Tinkaton. Yeah, I just caught Tinkaton, and I've been playing a little bit with him. I think mine's actually female. I like it so far. It's an interesting type combination. I actually, you know what, Alcadius? I saw on the Discord you say that on your first playthrough you don't nickname stuff. And that actually like really resonated with me because I never used to nickname anything, and I felt like it in hindsight, I think that helped me learn like a lot of the Pokemon names more easily. So I've been doing that on this playthrough, and I'm like, yeah, I like this. I think this is a good. I think that's like a good rule. At least if you're not like streaming a blind playthrough or something where you have like incentive to do something like that. But generally, I think I like that idea. Okay, let's go find Squirtle. Let's start with Neko's first guess. Pusheen. This one's gonna be a little weird. Check it out. So, it's not just one thing. My mom got me, I have a few of these little collections now of extremely small Squishmallows. So I think these are called like the Summer Pals or something. So it's like a bunch of nautical creatures, and then I think this one is supposed to be a fairy. It has like little sparkly wings and antenna. It's a little weird. I think I've seen this called fairy, but I'm not sure. It has this little sparkly princess bird, which is pretty good. It has like a little tiara and like a shiny stomach. It has tie-dye frog. Something seems a little wrong with his mouth, but I think it's endearing. He's got like a goofy little mouth. I have like tiny axolotl with like sparkly face things, whatever those are called, like whisker things. This little manta ray, which I love this thing. He's so good. I love it so much. And then, hold on, and then. So this you've seen before. This is small Carlos. But have you seen even smaller Carlos? My mom found even smaller Carlos and got the whole set so that I could have even smaller Carlos. He's so small. Yeah, these are baby. These are literally the smallest Squishmallows possible, I think. And he's so round. Look how round he is. So, like, this one's kind of got, like, Carlos proportions, but, like, this little chubby guy, he's so good. Yes, he is clawsome. The tiniest Carlos. Very clawsome. Did anyone guess under Donut Cat behind Lorenzo? I'm going to count that as a guess behind Lorenzo because I gave a cheat heads up to people before that there's the only place in the primary area where I hide stuff where I didn't hide something fun and exciting was behind Donut Cat.
It's Banana Man.
But yeah, how small could Carlos? I think this has to be the smallest Carlos that exists. He's so small. Behind the puppy. Behind the puppy. Puppy? Clarification. Puppy? Okay, so, earlier there was a guess, behind, or under our Ninja Turtle, and behind our blue spot. It's a Wally Squishmallow. He's weird because Wally isn't shaped in such a way that he could be a Squishmallow. So there's kind of just some like outer space on him, but he also has fun little treads. And he's Wally, and I love him because I love Wally very much. But he's good. I love him. I like that he's kind of weird because like Wally's kind of weird. He just is. That's kind of what's great about him. Actually put off by I respect that Arcadius. It's weird, but like I just love Wally so much I choose to like it. But it's weird. It's definitely weird. But I think Arcadius had guessed underneath Winter Squirtle. And of course I have to show that off next because where there's Wally, there is Eve. She's just bean. She's just bean shaped, but she's holding the little boot that saves the earth. You hope there's an Eve? There sure is. They came in the set. I don't know where my mom got them, but they were like sealed together in a bag. Just like the two of them, already together forever. Okay. Other guesses. Can we get clarification? One on top of Bear, right? Someone said that was the guess. Let me start with Sarah's guess came in first with Lorenzo. And this one isn't strictly new because we did get to show it off before the holiday break, but I wanted to represent it on the couch of new things. Arcadia sent me this. It is a big reversible octopus. So you've seen the little reversible narwhal. And this is also reversible. And even better, it can also be a hat. It's very good. Thank you again to Arcadius. Most of these others came directly from my mom because they would. I don't think I saw a guess, but at this point I just want to show them off. Behind Squish Winnie the Pooh is Squish Winnie the Pooh, but with a Santa hat. This one I had specifically asked for because I accidentally came across it on Amazon, and I was like, yeah, I want that. I want this one. Yeah, the two modes on the octopus are angry and furious, so it's good. It's quite good. But these two are very similar, but I love them both. Also, find Cinder, Agon. We have this quirky little guy. So, this is like an officially licensed Dungeons and Dragon, which I had requested for the extremely weird reason that this isn't actually a plush toy. I mean, it is, but what it actually is this a dice bag for keeping your dungeon dice in? And I don't know if I'll actually use him for that, but this idea was very endearing to me, so I wanted it. New hamster thing. I don't know what you're referring to. Is it this? Is this the thing that you're referring to? It was NECA, right? Oh, on top of a boom. It got like a little weirdly puffed out, but it's our Reversa Bunny. Reversa Bunny's been around. It maybe looks a little more normal now. Alright, so I'll have to go back to see who it was who guessed it, but someone had guessed behind Brown Bear and under Eevee, and that was where the Squirtle was. I've revealed all the things now. Someone in chat can tell me if you beat me to fighting it in chat. Under Squirtle, Lorenzo, Castleard. Castleard! Castleard, congratulations on finding the Squirtle! Hooray! Have one of these. That was mostly me just showing off a bunch of cool stuff I got for Christmas. So thank you for indulging me with that. I hope you liked it. And particularly these these very small Carlos. He's so small. Just look at it. Like he's like a little oddly shaped, but he's just so endearing. He's just the tiniest claws. He's the littlest guy. He's so small. But I do also, I mean, these are all pretty great. Like Princess Bird, the little manta rays. I mean, I really like manta rays, but like, look at him. Just look at his little face. You just see him float. He even has the tail. It's just so good. They're so good. Yeah, fat baby. Okay, that'll do it for the stream. I'm gonna be back tomorrow with Dwarf Romantic at the usual time, 6 p.m. Pacific. Please tune in and help me figure out what to do next. I have an idea. I don't. It requires more setup than I can guarantee I will do. By next week, but I will try to do it. But we can talk if you have other ideas that you like. But I should start doing things, so maybe I can fit in some Pokemon time before bed. Woohoo! Thanks for watching. It's been great having you. It's been great streaming again. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. And I hope to see you again soon. Whenever that may be, I hope that your journeys fare well until then. And to all, a good night.